Welcome to Counterculture Wise, a Stormcat production, with your hosts Melanie Hope and James Monis. The views expressed on this podcast are those of the hosts, our guests, and the dog, and do not necessarily reflect the views of any of our platforms, our advertisers, or any other dog.
As you listen today, please remember, we are so much more than a podcast. All of our stories we discuss are linked in our show notes on counterculturewise.com. Visit there for commentary, guest photos and links, animations, and fun merchandise.
If you have a story idea or would like to be a guest on our show, contact us via our website. You can also follow us on Twitter, Gab, Instagram, Facebook, and all over social media where we'll post memes, cat pics, and commentary that gets us booted off on a regular basis.
If you're watching our live show, hit like and join the chat. If you're listening dead, well, you can still hit like, share, subscribe, and comment, but please stop voting Democrat. And the Mackie Meow meows us in for another Counterculture-wise podcast? Is that what we call ourselves?
Podcast, broadcast, show. That's the new name for it. The Counterculture-wise type thing.
Type thing. Okay, I think that works. Well, hello, everybody. This is Melanie Hope, your hostess, and, well, co-host. Well, I don't want to say co-hostess because it makes it sound like there's another hostess, but there's not a hostess. There's a host.
Oh, now I want a ding-dong.
Ramalama?
Whatever. I don't care what flavor it is.
Sorry. God, those things are terrible. Why would you want one of those? Black.
Because they're delicious.
No, yuck. They taste like grease and
I'm
sadness.
willing to settle for a cupcake or an apple pie instead.
Black. Okay.
I have no taste in food. I have good taste in women, but I don't have good taste in food.
I'll bake you something keto and then we'll talk.
Oh, how fun.
Yay. Wee!
Yay.
Hey, you like when you eat the puppy biscuits.
The puppy biscuits are good. By the way, they are all natural with pumpkin and oats and sometimes bananas.
Sometimes peanut butter, depending on which dog I'm making them for, because I give them away. And some dogs are allergic to peanut butter. And
some people are allergic to peanuts too.
That
makes sense.
So, I mean, I wouldn't be, shoving peanuts down their throats either. So, when I'm giving them away, I try to go with as much hyperallergic. I mean, Sadie loves the peanut butter.
And so you said you were the co-hostess?
I am the that's right. We have a show. There's a show happening right now.
There is.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hi, everybody. And welcome to Counterculture Wise. I am your hostess with the mostest, Ms. Melanie Hope. And to my right is my right-hand man, my best friend, happens to be my husband and co-host, and my sweet Babu.
And I try not to be too annoying.
Sweet Babu. James Monis.
Hi, everybody. Why do North Koreans draw the straightest lines?
Oh, I'm afraid to ask because it's going to get me in trouble with the ASPC. No, not the ASPC. That's the wrong one.
Who?
The ACLU or one of those guys.
Because they have a supreme ruler. And it happens every week. Just as we're about to go on, like, oh gosh, I forgot to get a dad joke, so I don't have time. I don't research them during the week. I just grab the dumbest one I find as soon as I can. We have a heck of a show this evening.
Really big show.
We have an amazing show. We're not going to talk too much politics tonight. We're going to save that for...
We wanted to have a lot more fun this week.
Yeah,
I mean the politics has gotten to be such a cesspool.
The big debate is probably going to be happening in a few days. So
we'll see. We will be commenting on it per usual. I mean, I would love to go live, but everybody else and his dog and his uncle and his cousin and his... his cow and whatever else are going to be doing that anyway. And besides, I think if anybody knows how to use OBS on Rumble Studios, call me, because Rumble Studios won't. So I need help. Help me.
I can't have this annoying feeling that it's not going to change anybody's minds.
The debate?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Are you kidding? Most people have already voted.
Yeah, pretty much.
Seriously, most people have literally already voted. I mean, what's the point?
Yeah.
Yeah,
entertainment,
seriously. Yeah.
comedy event, you know.
Kind of. Yeah. Yeah. So, that's the way I'm going to be looking at it is as a comedy.
Yeah, just to milk it for laughs.
Yeah.
I can only say that Trump, if he uses the same strategy that he used on Joe Biden, just give them enough rope. And
Yep.
don't,
Well, that's
do
exactly
not
what.
criticize her.
Nope.
Don't say anything about
Don't
her gender
no.
or her race. Just keep that
No,
out
she'll
of it.
say plenty on her own.
Yeah.
No, that's why she's fighting so hard to have the mics on because she wants that I'm talking
Yeah, we
moment.
all know that's what she would want to say.
I'm
and so,
talking. Yeah, shit it. We don't care.
We know you're talking.
The
but
problem is you ain't saying anything.
That's what I was just going to say. You're talking,
anything.
but you're not saying anything,
You're not
Kamala.
saying anything, Kamala. I don't think even she understands what she just said.
Unburdened by what has been, anyway.
Unburdened by what has been. You're unburdened by your own brain, but okay.
Boy.
I don't know. I just don't understand. Why is she a thing? I don't get it. Couldn't even get 1% of the vote. She dropped out. I bet you anything that she dropped out because she checked all the bigot boxes, and when Biden said he was going to get himself a diversity hire, she's like, "Oh, I'm the one."
And then she gets
Because
people get offended because
Tulsi basically ended her career.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, Tulsi's also helping Trump right now.
Well, she is now
preparing for the debate.
Yeah.
So that's going to be.
I hope that helps because I guess
it
the big news is that Kamala was out buying spices. Yay!
And like I said, we're not going to talk politics.
Oh, that's right. Right.
But we had to a little bit because it's coming up. So we're going to start by talking about a once great company.
Yeah, one that took care of not me because I was too old, but took care of my sister, my brother, my family. My stepdad worked there for many, many years and retired kind of rich because of it. And he loved that company.
There were a lot of people who loved that company, and they all worked, and it was synonymous with Seattle for decades.
Well, and it was also synonymous with quality and, if you had a choice. Well, I mean, I guess we should say the name Boeing.
You could choose Boeing or Airbus or.
Yeah, I mean, people never actually used to book a flight and check what plane they would be on. Mm-hmm. That was never really a thing before. Mm-hmm. And now it kind of is. People are actually going online and they will change the airline based on what planes they fly on because of what's been going on.
Yeah.
And the latest craziness is what's been going on with the International Space Station.
This is unbelievable.
And first of all, I feel really sorry for these guys because they're stuck up there. And what you gonna do, right?
What are you going
so
to
Boeing
do?
Starliner lands back on Earth, but did not have the astronauts. Apparently it had some issues. And of course they're going to get bailed out by guess who? Boeing Starliner spacecraft landed in New Mexico desert late on Friday, months after its original departure date and without the two astronauts it carried when it launched in early June. Starliner returned to Earth seemingly without a hitch, a NASA livestream showed, nailing the critical final phase of its mission. The spacecraft re-entered Earth's atmosphere, blah, 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 don't care, orbit yardy yardy, where it landed. NASA astronauts Suni Williams and Butch Wilmore should have flown the Starliner back to Earth in June, a week after launching in it, but thruster failures and helium leaks marred their ride to the space station. Instead, they will remain at the International Space Station for the rest of the year. Can you imagine thinking you're only going to be gone for a week? A 3-hour tour.
This is going to last 2 seasons.
So they're going to return
just like Gilligan's Island.
and will return in February aboard, oh golly, SpaceX Dragon spacecraft.
So Elon to the rescue once again.
Once again, yeah.
How about that? Who would have thought?
Who would have thunk? NASA ultimately decided it was too risky to return Williams and Wilmore on the Starliner. Yeah, because by the time they got to Earth, they'd be talking like this because of all the helium. So the capsule contains their empty seats and blue spacesuits along with some old station equipment. Boeing's first astronaut flight caps a journey filled with delays and setbacks. After NASA's space shuttles were retired more than a decade ago, NASA hired Boeing and SpaceX for orbital taxi service. Boeing ran into so many problems on its first test flight with no one aboard in 2019 that it had to repeat it. The 2022 do-over uncovered even more flaws, and the repair bill topped $1.5 billion. Eek.
Makes you wonder if it really is worth it. I mean, I know we get amazing scientific discoveries when we do these things, but dang,
yeah,
1.5 billion.
Yeah, and that's our. I mean, you think about it. That's our government paying for that. That's our,
Tax money.
I mean, at least at least 1 billion didn't make it to Ukraine, so at least there's that. But by golly, there's 1 billion that Ukraine didn't get. Elon did all of it himself. All right, so even after it successfully launched, helium leaks continued to trouble the spacecraft as the Starliner approached the ISS. 2 leaks were detected, but NASA determined the spacecraft remained stable. Well, helium isn't volatile, so what started as an 8-day mission dragged on for 3 months. Oh, that would suck. After leaks and faulty thrusters raised safety concerns. I'd be like, I don't care. I'll talk high, crash me in the ocean, whatever. Just get me back to the planet, please. I'm not asking much here. However, NASA and Boeing officials were adamant that the astronauts were not stranded.
So you were lying.
It's like you're stuck and you can't come back, but you're not stranded. They're not stranded. They're just, unable to return.
So you were lying.
They're not stranded. We'll come home when we're ready.
What do you mean, will come home? You're not the. You're not one of the. Will come home when they're.
No.
You're not. You're home already. There, Steve.
Trust me, Steve. They're ready.
Oh man.
Unbelievable.
And this is just the latest thing to plague that company.
Yeah,
And we're not.
They're not stranded. Are we redefining the word stranded? Because pretty sure they are. Yeah, so now, I mean, that, and then, the ones that are still terrestrial bound here, people are actually, like I said, concerned about flying. Oh, look at that, 2 white men. How dare they? Oh, no,
It's
this
a
plane will
stock
never
photo
fly.
from who knows when.
This plane will never fly with 2 white guys in there. What's with the control panel from the 1970s?
Like I said, it's an old photo.
I guess so. Airfare, departure times, flight length. These are the usual considerations for travelers who want to book a flight, but now more are looking at a new factor. Is the aircraft going to explode at takeoff? Have we checked the O-rings, ladies and gentlemen? Ooh, too soon, too soon.
Oh, yeah, always too soon.
Yeah, that's going to still sting for a long time. As long as Auburn has a Dick Scobie Elementary School. Every time I hear the name of that school, I'm like, there's a cream for that.
I think you're confusing Scobie with Scaby, but that's okay.
Whatever. All I'm saying is if your last name is something like Scobie or Scaby, you should not go by Dick. Try Richard, maybe. Howard, just go in a different direction.
It sounds more like a race car driver's name anyway.
Dick Scobie?
Yeah.
Oh, well, he went faster than any race car
That's
driver.
true, that's
Still
true.
Too soon.
Went
Still
higher,
too
and
soon.
now he's way up high.
Yeah. That was, well, we watched that live, I was still in.
Oh, how horrible.
I was still in school.
I was at work. I was in the Marines. I was working in the shop. I didn't have a chance to find out about it till afterwards.
Was it junior high? I think it was in junior high when that happened.
Yeah.
And we were literally watching it launch live because we had a local on it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think there's still some kids that are traumatized to this day.
Undoubtedly.
It was pretty, it was rough.
It's one of those things that you're just stand there shocked because it's not supposed to happen.
Right.
You trust that they've done the proper research and that people who sound alarms aren't silenced in the name of expeditiousness
exactly.
Saving money.
Mm-hmm. Which is exactly what happened. It was awful.
Exactly.
All right, so 1 in 5 travelers said they're doing more research into the plane they may be flying on before they book. while slightly more, 22%, said they are limiting air travel for the rest of the year, according to a survey conducted in June by these guys. By the way, all links are available at countercultureways.com. In fact,
In fact,
guess what?
what are you going to say emphatically?
Drop everything!
Ow! Oh. Nice new graphics, huh?
Thanks. Hit like, hit share, hit subscribe. Pet the goldfish.
Poor little Goldie.
Poor little Goldie. Head on out to, if you're listening to, well, you're obviously not listening to this live, but
No,
wherever
we are
you're
quite
listening to this,
obviously none of us.
whatever you're doing, give us some love, give us a comment, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Share it with a friend, share it with an enemy, especially share it with an enemy. And for goodness sake, put the word out there. If you really do hate this show, if it really bothers you, and we've said something really offensive, there are two things you can do.
Yes.
Number one, head on over to countercultureways.com and click on the ID10T form. It is comprehensive, and please fill it out and let us know exactly, what's wrong, because we're very caring here.
And we want to...
And we want to...
We want to get feedback and improve our show.
Yeah, and so do fill that out, and we will give it the attention that it deserves. And, if you're really offended, say you're listening on Apple or Spotify, and you're really upset, go ahead and let us know. Don't leave like a 1 or 2 star review, because we just figure that's a troll or a hater.
Right.
So if you can't give us a 500 billion star review, give us a 5-star review, and it'll really, really hit us in the feels. It'll hurt so bad that you gave us only 5 stars when you could have given us 200,000.
Right.
And we'll know. We'll know. And then, of course, leave feedback to let us know why you gave us such a low rating. But nothing less than 4 or 5, because then it's just, you're obviously trolling. Yeah. So you got to really, really stick it to us. And the 5 is like a 2-penny tip.
Right.
It's just
right. It's just enough to make
to
us sneer
be insulting,
Yeah.
and that you went out of your way to do that will really affect us. So please do that.
So
Getting back to this article. Overall, 55% of travelers said they have changed the way they book flights because of recent news about aircraft and airlines, the survey showed. The survey did not directly mention Boeing, but a steady stream of media coverage about the company, from its quality control to business ethos, DEI, have dominated headlines since a door panel blew off an Alaskan Airlines flight.
don't just blow me off, said the door.
Hey, who edited this nonsense? Blew off Alaska Airline. Come on, people. If you need an editor, who is this? CNBC, if you need an editor, hit me up. These stories have redirected consumers' focus to Boeing's aircraft, which was something travelers didn't used to pay attention to.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
I saw it too. Go ahead.
Really?
Go
This
ahead.
is actually hurting my soul. It's actually painful for me to say. Really? This isn't a major
This
news.
is an article from CNBC.
Yeah.
What's going on with the spelling and the grammar here, people?
Come on. They must have DEI too.
Oh, no. Sid.
Our research and first flyers are doing more research to understand and potentially avoid Boeing aircrafts. It's true.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we actually drove to Vegas because we didn't want to fly.
Well, there are lots of different reasons.
Yeah,
we
but
didn't
that was
want to
one.
fly
That was
this time
a
around.
major consideration for me.
But-
The survey also showed 13% of responders are avoiding discount carriers to feel more secure about flying, which is odd because most of the discount airs like Spirit and whatnot, all the god awful nasty ones that I
They're
wouldn't
not
want
the
to fly,
ones having the issues.
they use Airbus,
Right.
or a majority of them do.
Right.
But this doesn't really make sense. See, here it is. First of all, there are more discount carriers operating
But
Airbus
you
than
need
Boeing.
to say the name of the dude, though.
Oh,
'cause it's-
dude, what?
But this doesn't really make
Brendan
sense. Said Brendan
Sobey.
Sobey, not to be confused with Scobie, not to be confused with Scaby. There, I had to say it, so go ahead. I'm done now.
Aviation. All right. Okay. And Boeing issues, of course, impact all airlines regardless of their business model. Okay, so fears up, risk down. As unnerving as recent headlines about Boeing may be, aviation safety is improving by the decade. So this is actually good news, okay? You probably hear all the time that it's safer to fly than it is to drive. Although I must say that it's only happened to me once that an automobile door has fallen off the vehicle. Luckily, I was parked at the time, but that did happen. The Jeep.
That was the old Jeep.
And it wasn't the kind that the doors are supposed to come off. It was the hatchback, and
it was the window in the back.
Came off in the middle of the parking lot, and of course the pouring down rain, and of course I was by myself.
It was pouring down rain because it was Seattle. What were we expecting,
you know? And I was by myself, and I'm just standing there with the door in my hand, going, "What do I do now?" I hated that car.
I didn't because it was a Jeep, but it was a beat up Jeep that used to be used by the Washington State Forestry Department. Didn't have air conditioning, so anything. That would not have lasted in Vegas for more than 2 minutes.
Oh, it wouldn't have made it to Vegas. Yeah, I wouldn't have made it. The paper published in the Journal of Air Transport Management in August states that the risk of dying on a commercial flight globally was 1 per 13.7 million passenger boardings.
That is pretty good.
From 2018 to 2022. A significant improvement from the decade before, a far cry from the 1 death for every 350,000 boardings that occurred between 1968 and 1977 when you're allowed to smoke on the planes.
Which is exactly why they all died.
Yeah, early. Commercial safety standards can be evaluated by a variety of metrics from miles flow to flight miles flow.
I'd remove the S to say mile flow, whatever that means.
I am assuming they mean miles flown to flight hours, but okay, that's 3. That's 3. Seriously. But I'm gonna red pen this, and I'm gonna write them a letter with my resume.
Actually,
and say,
print it out and mail it to them.
Exactly.
I'm serious.
With my resume and say, I'm cheap. I'll work part-time.
You get in with Universal, we're cool.
Yeah, well, I don't know if I want to sell my soul to Satan, but we'll see. But according to MIT News, Barnett chose deaths per passenger boarding because it answers a simple question. If you have a boarding pass for a flight, what are your odds of dying? Well, now it should be what are your odds of dying via a plane crash? Because now that people have gotten all weird on flights, I don't know what happened during COVID, but people just became weird. And now they're screaming and getting drunk and trying to open windows and doing all kinds of crazy things. So let's make sure that we're talking about due to crashes. All right, so we can see this chart here back in the 60s and 70s, but wow, it has drastically, look at that, 13.7. I mean, that's almost double.
But on the other hand, up until COVID, flights were going, there were a lot more people flying than there were back in the 60s.
Well, there's that too, yeah, and a lot more planes in the air. But, I mean, if you do a 1 per... Mm-hmm. That's like a 1-to-1. That's why you always want to do crime stats and things like that in a 1 in 10,000 or 1 in 100,000, so that it's kind of a fair view. Barnett suggests several factors have made flying safer, according to MIT News. According to technological advances such as collision avoidance systems in planes, extensive training, except for that guy that couldn't land at that one airport because he wasn't trained enough.
That's still going, what the what?
That's so bizarre. And the sad thing is they didn't realize it. Coming on the runway, he's like, oh, wait, I don't know how to do this. Can you just see the guy at the red stapler? Guys, I think we're gonna have to go to another airport. I'm gonna have to have somebody else land the plane. Yeah. That was my runway. Oh, Lordy. Okay, so this goes more in depth, and there's, of course, videos and everything. But so the bad news is I don't know if Boeing's going to recover from this. This makes me really sad. Once great company basically defined the entire state. And then, of course, the state got so liberal and so, fond of its taxes that it actually moved its corporate offices to another state. And...
It just kind of started to go downhill the moment and I'm not slamming McDonnell Douglas.
Yeah, but when they
around
got
the time they merged and then
McNugget Dougal,
it
did. It went straight downhill.
The corporate cultures must have clashed a a lot. Mm-hmm. That's what happens. With
there was a whole other article about that, but I didn't want to spend too much time on it. But
I know. I used to work on McDonnell Douglas aircraft when I was in the military. So
for 2.5 minutes.
No, for 2.5 years.
But if I were to tell you to go change the rotocuff defibrillator, you'd probably think that was a real thing.
Okay, I did fall for the panel stretcher thing once. I'll have Nick Borgading or my good buddy from the Marine Corps vouch for me when
He's
I
fun.
say
I like
that.
him. He's a good Facebook follow. He's fun.
Yeah, he is.
He likes me. There's nobody on Facebook who likes me. He likes me.
I'm going off Facebook this week.
Oh yeah, well, I'm hardly ever on there. It's just because.
Well, that's
like,
the main reason I'm splitting, because I'm tired of it.
There's only so much
people
you can take.
One side or the other is gonna have a bunch of crazy meltdowns on November 6th, and I'm just gonna.
Well, let me just put this out there, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
November 7th is my birthday, and I only want one thing for my birthday, and it's not Kamalama Ding Dong. I'll just say that. That's all I'm gonna say. And now
Melanie gets to say something she's been chomping at the bit to say for the whole week.
What have I been wanting to say? Oh, yes, that's true. I have been wanting to say this all week.
So you get to read this one. I know you just read, but...
Okay, but first...
Yes.
But first...
Counterculture Wise is proud to present News of the Weird and Wonderful. Here are your hosts, Melanie Hope and Jim Monis.
I did those.
They look like us.
Kinda.
Yeah.
I even gave myself a double chin because,
Well, give yourself a break.
I couldn't quite capture your caramely eyes, but it looks like you.
It looks like me.
Someday I'll get your
I like the
eyebrows.
goggles shirt I'm wearing.
Well, it is you.
And you go to our store, buy our
I was
gonna
gonna do Who the Hell is Jim Monis, but you've been not swearing a lot lately, so.
I don't know why I have not been swearing.
I might redraw it with your church logo.
Wow.
You've already got the black T-shirt, so I'd have to just put the logo on
No,
there.
the goggle one's fine for now.
For now.
That's fun.
Yeah. Okay, what I've been wanting to say all week. Robust wombat. Does it get any better than a robust wombat? Oh, this is so much fun. Under the cover of darkness, one of Australia's rarest mammals ventured out of its burrow across... it's not Australian, I'm sorry, I'm trying. Across the rocky landscape as a nearby camera captured every moment of the rare sighting. You can't help it. Ecologist Andy Howe was scrolling through over 1 hour, boring, 100 hours of footage from wildlife cameras at the Richard Underwood Nature Refuge when something caught his attention. The Australian Wildlife Conservatory said in September 3 news release, 2 short video clips showed a young, rotund animal emerge from a burrow and walk a short distance. It was a northern hairy-nosed wombat.
I think I dated one of those once.
I think you did. I think I met her. Lovely lady, lovely. One of only 400 left in the whole wide world. So would you like to see
Yes, let's see
a robust, hairy-nosed wombat?
A robust wombat.
So these are the largest burrowing marsupial in the world. They reach over 3 feet in length and over 60 pounds. That's bigger than Sadie. That's substantial.
That's large.
And it's a lot. Seriously, we have a black lab mix, and that is bigger than our dog. Mm-hmm. According to the article from the conservatory, they have a broad nose, pointy ears, soft grayish fur, and faint black eye patches. So I actually downloaded the video because I thought that would be fun. So let's see our robust wombat, shall we? There he is. Okay, he's so cute. He's like a little teddy bear. So he's basically direct cousin to like a possum, which is the only marsupial in the Americas. Just thought you'd like to know. Anyways, there goes our robust.
That was cool.
There goes our robust wombat. There he is. Northern hairy-nosed wombats are the largest burrowing marsupial in the world. Read that. They have broad nose, pointy ears, soft grayish. Oh, he's so cute. I wish it was color. The species population declined for decades due to predation and habitat destruction, eventually becoming one of Australia's rarest mammals. So not even the platypus holds that. It is this little guy, or this not so little guy. Video shared by the organization on YouTube shows the rare northern hairy-nosed wombat approach the camera, stop for a moment, and then walk out of view. The wombat is quite robust, indicating that it is feeding well and getting enough nutrition. See, I'm no longer going to call you any other name than robust. Sadie agrees.
Sadie agrees.
She
She's one
says.
of those sleeping gronks she does. And she's very happy with life.
Yes.
She goes gronk.
And Max is at my feet, and the little one's around here somewhere. Although this isn't the first Joey born at the refuge, it's the first juvenile spotted for a few. Well, he's a junior, 2 years old. Overall, look at the picture. He's so cute. He's so cute. Overall, this bit of footage tells us a lot about the state of the nation. If you guys are only listening, if you're like, I don't want to say falling blindly because I don't want to insult anybody, but I know there's a lot of people who just listen to this on audio. You're missing the cutest wombat ever. So head on over to counterculturewise.com and check out the wombat.
I wouldn't know. I've never compared it to other wombats.
You just haven't lived.
I'll just take your word for
You're
it.
not a wombat connoisseur.
No, I'm not.
Wombatosaur? Overall, this bit of footage tells us a lot about the state of the nature preserve's population, showing us that the wombats have the right conditions and feel comfortable enough to breed. Yay, breeding robust wombats! It's very gratifying to know that one of the world's most critically endangered animals is doing well and breeding within the safety of the fenced area.
Very nice.
Yes. Alrighty. Robust wombats.
And now another...
Seriously, though, does it get any cuter than that?
It doesn't get any cuter. We're going to keep with the wildlife theme and the title of our show this week. When scientists attached a tag to a pregnant porbeagle shark in October 2020 to learn more about the creature's habitat, they didn't expect their tracker to capture evidence of how large sharks hunt one another.
Ooh.
But when the tracker registered some unexpected activity in March 2021, the scientists realized that a larger shark had eaten their research subject.
Did it get the baby? Was the baby born?
I don't know.
So porbeagles are not small sharks.
No, they're not small sharks. They're rather large.
What, 6-gill, 7-gill shark? They're
12,
directly
12
related.
feet long and weigh 500 pounds.
Yeah, directly related
They're
to the
big.
great whites. They're
big.
big uns.
Yeah.
So it would be an even bigger one. It would have had to be like a great white.
Yeah.
Well, how do they know it was another shark?
We're going to find out together.
Okay.
Far out.
Well, they have to be 13 years old before they can reproduce.
The team shared these unexpected findings in a new study published Tuesday in the journal Frontiers in Marine Science.
That sounds like it needs its own song. Blorp,
Blorp, blorp, blorp.
blorp.
This is the first documented predation event of a porbeagle shark anywhere in the world, said lead study author Dr. Brooke Anderson, a marine fisheries biologist in the North Carolina Department of Environmental Quality, via email. I want you to know that I managed to say predation and porbeagle, words I hardly ever use, in the same sentence without falling apart.
I like the North Carolina Department of Environmental Quality via email. That's an interesting name for a department. NCDOEQ, that didn't help at all.
Yeah, it doesn't at all. Porbeagle sharks, which are distinct from rich beagle sharks, which are found across the Atlantic and South Pacific Oceans and Mediterranean, can reach a little more than 12 feet long and weigh as much as 507 pounds. The elusive large sharks can also live between 30 and 65 years old, but they cannot reproduce until they reach 13.
Oh, yeah, they live to 65. They're kind of like us.
There you go. The females give birth to 4 pups every 1 or 2 years.
Now, I know there's a few people out there asking, say, hold on, now wait a minute.
Okay.
What do you mean a fish is giving birth? Fish lay eggs, I know, because I eat them on my sushi. Ah, contraire. Now, technically, people will say sharks are fish, but I disagree. Sharks do not have bones, for instance, they have cartilage, and sharks have a very different type of skin, and sharks, they will say, are the only fish that give birth to live young.
Aren't they mammals? I mean, they're...
Sharks are not mammals, you spaz. They're cold-blooded.
If they're not fish and they're not mammals, then what are they? Birds?
Fungus. They're fungus. Fungus have their
okay.
entire own kingdom.
Well,
I'm
fungus
telling
among
you,
us. Okay,
fungus
good.
are sentient, and they're the ones that are flying spaceships around. We just haven't caught them yet.
All right.
I'm going to let people figure out
Where
that one.
was I?
Found across the Atlantic and South Pacific.
Habitat loss, overfishing, and their fate as bycatch.
Overfishing in.
Fishing nets.
We should just be like the grammar police network. This is ridiculous.
These guys are horrible.
Their fate is bycatch and fishing.
So CNN has let us down with grammar and spelling. CNBC. So listen up, Warner Brothers Discovery and Comcast, the parent company of CNBC. You guys are these multi-trillion-dollar operations. We solder our computers back together when they fall apart. Come on, people, get with it.
With hot glue guns. We don't even use real solder.
There you go. Yeah. Northwest Atlantic poor beagle sharks are listed as vulnerable on the International Union for Conservation of Nature Red List of Threatened Species.
Yeah, vulnerable to getting ate by bigger sharks.
Yeah.
I want to know what kind of shark ate it. Stop giving me all the stuff. Tell me what
now
happened.
Now the researchers said they may have identified 2 suspects, since you asked, I'm jumping ahead. A great white and a short fin mako.
I think is it mako or mako?
I don't know.
You say mako, I say mako. Let's call the whole thing off.
Anyway, the researcher, okay. When Anderson and her colleagues were tagging poor beagle sharks off Cape Cod in Massachusetts in 2020 and 2022, and it goes on and on and on. I don't want to go long on these because we got so much to talk about, but.
Poor Sharky Parky. I was trying to get a difference between a mako and a great white, and there really isn't that much difference. It's just
they've got pointy noses and teeth.
Yeah, they got pointy noses and teeth, and they eat things.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they're scary.
You didn't really think that sharks are mammals, did you? I'm flabbergasted. Please tell me that was just a joke.
They're not mammals. I was
okay.
just like, well, they're not fish, so what are they?
Well, they are fish, but I don't like it.
And that is settled.
They are fish,
they're
but I don't
not
like
fish.
it.
They're not mammals. They're famals.
No, they're not mammals, but they're not fish. Just saying. But I should ask AI if sharks are fish. Are sharks fish? And they are just like tomatoes are fruit. You know what I'm saying? Just putting that out there. So according to the research results, sharks are classified as cartilaginous fishes. The group includes sharks, skates, and rays. See, okay, so they're on a little subset of fish, because I wouldn't consider a skate or a ray a fish either, although they are delicious.
When you're swimming and you feel you were stung by an eel, that's amore.
Oh, dear.
The next...
Wait, what? Oh, this one is from Fritzy.
Yeah, this one's
so
from
you know
Fritzy
if it's
Fritz.
from Fritzy, you know what it's about.
Say cheese.
That's a pretty Frit. That cat can hear a string cheese wrapper from miles away.
Even if I'm just about to grate a block of cheese and I cut open the plastic, she's still her cute little pink nose picks it up. Her ears pick up the sound, and she's
and
up
she
my butt.
teleports too.
Yeah,
I don't know how she does it, because you'll be like, derp, derp, oh, there's a cat.
Or she'll be dead asleep in the other room.
Yeah.
And she hears that, and 5 seconds
or the
later,
can opener.
Hi, Daddy. We go,
Or the can opener, yeah.
So.
World's largest string cheese ball made in Mexico.
And we're not joking. This thing is huge.
I've got video, believe it or not.
Wow.
Would you like to see the world's biggest string cheese?
Yes, I would love to.
Okay. I don't know if this has audio or not. I don't think so. I think I took off the audio because I don't want to get DMCA and all that stuff. And I sped it up a little bit because it was really long. So here they are making lots of cheese. Lots and lots. Look at that thing.
Serious mozzarella going on
here. That is a big bottle of mozzarella. I wonder what they're going to do with it. I'm interested to see what they're going to do with it. Okay. So, this actually is yours to read. I mean, I guess it wasn't much. Okay, the cheesemakers used a rotating table to create the massive string cheese ball, which is known as
Osaka cheese.
Osaka. The internal joke you might want to explain.
Yeah.
The finished ball broke the record at 1,402.58 pounds. They said it took 2,641 gallons of milk to create the cheese. And my question is, what are we going to do with the cheese?
Probably just serve it up and eat it.
I hope so. I hope that they feed
they
could feed a whole village.
It'll rot and stink up the joint.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I hope they feed a whole village with it.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. It takes a village to eat cheese.
All right. This is from our old stamping grounds.
Oh,
Beautiful, beautiful Las Vegas.
beautiful Las Vegas.
Judith Monarez crumpled onto her kitchen floor and wept when the news arrived in an email. Gizmo, her pet dog missing for 9 years, had been found alive. We were freaking out when Max went missing for 10 days.
Yeah, well, I was beside myself.
Monarez was 28 and living with her parents in 2015 when Gizmo, then 2 years old, slipped past a faulty gate in the backyard of their home in Las Vegas. The decade that followed brought a lot of change. Monarez, now 37, moved into her own home, earned a master's degree in English, and began her teaching career in higher education. But throughout the years, Monarez said she never stopped trying to find Gizmo. Now she was climbing into her car to drive across town to meet Gizmo at an animal hospital. Monarez was later told that a woman had found the now 11-year-old dog and dropped him off at the vet, where they scanned his microchip, triggering the email notification that sent Monarez to her knees
That's
crying.
amazing. After so many years. Wow.
Within years of
all
her
of our critters are microchipped. Get your critters microchipped because they will call you.
And hold on to your email addresses, no matter how old they are.
Yeah.
I made a mistake when I dumped the big one I had because I just got so tired of being spammed all day.
Email, not dog.
Yeah, one of those.
Oh, I got video. You want to see the video?
Yeah.
Gizmo video.
It's okay.
Laying in a dog bed, this 11-year-old Chihuahua mix looks up with his big amber eyes.
His name is Gizmo because he looked kind of like Gizmo the gremlin when we first got him.
That long hair, now gone, shaved after it became matted, all part of Gizmo's recovery efforts.
Severe dental disease, fractures, his spine. He still has ongoing eye infections, possibly some ear infections.
What did they do to the
Judith
poor little
Monarez keeps
guy?
a watchful eye on him, making sure he gets stronger each day
she's
after a
so
9-year
sweet.
journey homeward bound.
To me, it was very shocking. Still reeling from it, having him here in my arms.
The heart-wrenching separation starting on February 3rd,
cute when he
2015
had
for
hair.
Monarez. She says Gizmo escaped while playing with 2 other family dogs in the backyard, leaving
Looks like our
without his
backyard when we
collar.
lived
A
there.
neighbor saw them, and she managed to wrangle 2 of our dogs back. But there was another person, I don't know if they were driving, I think they were driving by in a car, 'cause she said that she left in like a red car. This lady left in a red car, picked him up.
Monarez immediately
They
started
stole
a
the
Facebook
dog?
group to try
They
and
stole
find
the
her
mutt.
then 2-year-old pup,
That's not good.
asking for help over the years, even posting this in 2019. We still haven't given up hope. The next update to the nearly 900 followers, a happy message of a reunion last week, saying Gizmo has finally been found. Monarez says an emergency veterinarian about 10 miles
Oh my gosh,
away
Russell and
scanned his
Sunset, that's
microchip.
literally our
An email
vet.
That was
alerted
our
her.
vet.
I called right away, and they were just like, we have him here. We're giving him a bath.
How did he end up at the emergency vet?
They told me that a lady, a good Samaritan, it was a woman, dropped him off. They said that they had spent 2 months trying to catch him.
Gizmo now needing extensive care. Monarez set up a GoFundMe to help with expenses. While she may never know the mysteries around Gizmo's journey, she embraces the new memories to make up for lost time.
I just want him to live the best possible life with whatever time he has left with us, and I want it to be the best because he deserves that.
He does, little puppers. So they say, hindsight is 2020. She said, "I'm so glad I registered his microchip."
And there is an ordinance now in the city of Las Vegas that you are
Yeah.
required to microchip.
I say you should microchip your kid too, but
Yeah, well, let's start with cats and dogs.
well, I mean, a lot of places, including the place where good old Frankie's going to be going in another week. Well, you just automatically, when you get them fixed, they also microchip them. So I mean, that's kind of a thing now. Alrighty.
Everyone's a critic.
Aw, this is awesome. I believe this wholeheartedly because Abby and Sasha in particular, you never got to meet Sasha, did you? Sasha, if you would, we had 2 almost identical toys. They were long, plush toys, and one was a blue cow, and the other was a red dog. And blue cow and red dog looked exactly the same, except blue cow had little tiny horns. And other than that, they pretty much looked the same. And Sasha knew the difference between blue cow and red dog. And if you said get blue cow, she'd get blue cow. She's a really smart woggy. And Sadie's just ball. Just ball.
Yeah, it's all ball.
Well, except for Daddy.
That's true.
She has, for her first birthday, I took her to the pet store and let her pick her toy. And she picked out this gigantic octopus. I mean, this thing is huge. It's probably, 2 feet tall?
Yeah.
And has, the legs that go every which way. And she likes grabbing it by the head and just shaking it for all it's worth. So she was trying to play fetch with me, and I was in the bathroom, and I'm like, no, go get Daddy. And I meant go play with Jim. And what she did is she fetched the octopus.
So, yeah.
So now every time you say, go get Daddy, she gets the octopus. It's insane. So, yeah, that backfired. Anyway, so she knows Daddy. That's one of her, her toys. Congratulations, you're a father.
Oh, boy.
All right. Gifted dogs can remember the names of their toys for at least 2 years, scientists have found. Previous research has shown that these rare pooches, known as gifted word learners, or GWL, like growl, cute, have a unique ability to learn the names of hundreds of different objects. A new study, I think dogs are way smarter than you give them credit. I mean, to this day, I have to put up all the buttons because Sadie will just keep smacking on them. I want belly rubs. I want carrots. I want... A new study published by the journal Biology Letters now suggests they can remember the names of some of these toys for an extended period of time. The hope is that the talented dogs could help scientists understand more about how animals other than humans retain their memories. Dr. Claudia Fugaza, it would have been better if it was Fuzzga. Is that a picture of a giant leatherback turtle? Crazy.
Far out.
Well, okay, so sorry, that's an adorable dog, but the picture just totally took me.
Ball.
Anyway, ball, squirrel. We know that dogs can remember events for at least 24 hours and odors for up to 1 year. But this is the first study showing that some talented dogs can remember words for at least 2 years. That is an adorable dog.
That's a very cute
So Whiskey is gifted. Whiskey, a gifted learner. I'm sure the dog cares about the certificate. The findings of our current study cannot be generalized to other dogs because we only tested GWL dogs, individuals that show a special talent for acquiring object words. For the study, researchers analyzed the behavior of 5 border collies. Border collies are awesome. If we hadn't gotten Sadie, I was bucking for a border. Gaia, Max, Whiskey, Squall, and Rico. These growl dogs had learned? Okay, this must be like a British site. And remembered the names of multiple toys and were tested given again 2 years on. So they learned the toys, put the toys away for 2 years, and then saw how many they remembered.
Wow.
The researchers said that remarkably, 4 out of 5 dogs remembered the names of between 60 to 75% of the toys after 2 years. I couldn't even do that. With Gaia performing the best. You go, girl. As a group, the dogs' performance averaged 44% correct choices. It's not bad, which is significantly above chance level. Okay, yeah. When you consider that they had like 12 and 13 toys to choose from, that is pretty significant.
That's pretty good.
The lead researcher on the study said we waited 2 years and then decided to test the dogs again to see if they still remember the toy names. Because such a long time has passed, some of the owners lost a few of the toys. So the dogs are better at it than the owners are. Thus, 3 dogs were tested on 12 toys, 1 dog on 11, and 1 dog on 5. After 2 years, we all had a hard time remembering the names of the toys, so the people had a hard time, but not the dogs. They did not seem to struggle. The research is part of a project known as the Genius Dog Challenge, and the scientists are urging owners who believe their dogs know multiple toy names to contact them via the project's website. So if your doggy woggy knows the name of many toys, contact these folks because they're interested in what your woggy may be able to do.
Now, this is going to be very interesting. A cow may have possibly predicted the future.
Oh, now come on.
I don't know. I'm not skeptical. I mean,
I don't want to put these poor people in. Okay, but yeah, this is too cute not to show the recording of. So
it speaks for itself.
It speaks for itself.
In order to proceed, I must now ask if any person here
Object to this union.
If any person here present knows of any lawful impediment, I should not be joined in matrimony.
So adorable. So anybody who thinks they do not,
She's mine.
too cute, way too cute.
Everyone's a critic, like you said.
Well. Well, folks, that was News of the Weird and Wonderful. I hope you had a lot of fun with those. And now we're on to News of the Wicked. Now, see, that's why we can't have nice things. Someday I'm going to reanimate that into something more specific, but I'm still working on it. Okay, before we go into this, I thought I'd bring out a golden oldie because it fits.
You've finished gagging yourself damn near to death with the Cinnamon Challenge. You've recovered from the body shock of the Ice Bucket Challenge, and you finally returned from the hospital after doing the Tide Pod Challenge. What is the next level of challenge for you overly suggestible millennials out there? At CCW Labs, we have worked day and night calculating the next challenge level, and we believe you're about to meet your match, introducing the Grow the Hell Up Challenge.
Dad, what do you mean I need to find a job?
Well, sweetheart, you're 22 years old, you're not in college, and you still live with us, so
Oh my God, I can't do this!
Man, I'm gonna have to write you up.
Why, boss?
Your attendance is awful. You need to show up for work on time and stop taking days off when you're not sick.
Oh my God, I can't do this. Welcome to American Bake. How can I help you?
I have a balance of negative $300. How did that happen?
It looks like you bounced several checks. I suggest balancing your checkbook, or at least looking at your balance before making purchases.
Oh my God, I can't do this!
Here are things you, a grown-ass adult, can do that does not require government handouts, pity parties, or forcing the rest of us to overpay for your damn insurance. Use your damn turn signals. Take responsibility for your own damn actions. Spay and neuter your damn pets. Spay and neuter your damn selves. Write a damn book. Plant a damn garden. Learn a damn trade. Realize that the damn earth revolves around the sun, not around you. Please submit your Grow the Hell Up Challenge videos to us at counterculturewise.com. We're waiting.
This blows me away just how ignorant people can be.
It also blows me away how bad of an artist I was. I'm not much better now, but that was
actually,
bad.
that was still a very enjoyable video.
Oh dear. I think I've grown quite a bit in these 8 seasons of this show.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I really wanted to learn how to animate, and so I started with stop motion like that. Well, I wouldn't call that stop motion, but you know what I mean, screen by screen. And now I actually have an animation program that I still don't know how to. Oh, hey, we have an audience.
We have an audience.
We have there's a frog up there too. So
we got a snail and a frog.
We got a snail and a frog and a newt. See the newt?
No.
You don't see the newt. He's right. He just went scurry, scurry, scurry.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So, hey, welcome to Counterculture Wise Studios, where we
Wise.
have a live studio audience. Besides the dog and the cat, we've got a newt and a frog and a snail. I love Texas. Okay, so we played that so that we could talk about this, that Chase Bank glitch. So this is an actual Twitter trend that went around, and I don't know why they would call this a glitch. It's not a glitch. This is just check fraud. That's all it is. You're writing bad checks and temporarily getting cash that you're going to have to pay back. And somehow they turned this into a Twitter challenge. So off you go.
I wish I could go off. Okay. There's a Chase Bank glitch.
It's not a glitch.
I know, but it says glitch, so I said glitch.
Okay,
And,
all
we're
right.
moving on with a.
And sharks are not fish.
Instead of using the word glitch, we'll call it a thing. Okay, we're just gonna call it thing.
You can call it a glitch if you want
The
to call
thing.
it a glitch.
Okay, the glitch.
The booby, the bobby.
It basically allowed people to deposit checks, and this is normal for regular sized checks. If you have an account with Chase or most bigger banks, and you have a good history, haven't bounced a lot of checks or anything, they will allow you to get at least half, oftentimes the full amount of the check away.
We're not talking like entire paychecks or anything like that, but
no.
Okay, so I guess technically this was a glitch because it was allowing folks to take a lot more.
Anyway, this glitch, which was highlighted in several viral TikTok videos, had some people believing they could get free cash from Chase ATMs because public school.
Yeah.
Legal experts call it fraud. Forget monopoly. A bank error in your favor almost never works out.
There's no such thing.
Do not pass go. Some people who tried to take advantage of the viral Chase Bank glitch could face serious consequences, experts say, including frozen bank accounts, negative balances in the thousands of dollars, and even jail time. The glitch, which has been highlighted in several viral TikTok videos, had some people believing they could get free cash from Chase, JP Morgan ATMs. According to these posts, at least some Chase cash machines allowed customers to deposit a check that they wrote to themselves for an amount larger than the balance in their bank account. This gave them immediate access to some or all the money listed on the check.
What did they think was going to happen, though? Did they not think of the next thing where it's like, oh, it's a bad check, so I'm going to owe that money? Did they not make that connection?
They just needed free, fast cash, I guess. I don't know.
And these are people that this is their own accounts. So
this is, like I said, public school and public pressure on TikTok and social media and garbage like that. Banks can sometimes take several days to verify checks prior to making funds available in customers' accounts. But in this case, some or all the money listed on the deposited check was available immediately, allowing people to withdraw the funds before the checks were identified as fraudulent. Posts online show that some of these fraudulent transactions were for as much as $40,000.
Now, I want to know where you could have an ATM that'll let you take out $40,000. I call BS on this.
Okay.
I don't think this is real.
Well, no. I mean, there were enough videos of it happening and enough people crying and sobbing about the lost money.
Yeah, but they're TikTokers. Yeah. They're not real. I'm not buying it.
Experts are calling it fraud.
It is fraud. It's absolutely fraud.
Yeah.
Absolutely fraud. Yeah, these charges listed above are only for check fraud.
This is written by Dow Jones and Wall Street Journal people, and so it's like it's not showing the videos of these clowns.
No, I tried downloading some of them, and there was just too much swearing. And then something that I noticed was that, see this Chase glitch S word, don't do this S word, man. Try to this glitch, blah blah blah. Well, it's not a glitch, dum dum. But okay, so this is the guy. It wasn't him. There's another one. So there was one that was standing in front of, you know how TikTok lets you superimpose yourself on a screen or whatever.
Right.
So there was one that was standing in front of a balance, and he had blocked out his name and whatnot. At least he was smart enough to do that. But then there was another one, and it was the exact same screen behind him. So I'm still kind of, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it is a bunch of baloney. So why are we reporting on it then?
Well, because, I mean, these guys are legit. You know, this is...
well, that's true. Dow Jones.
Yeah, these guys are legit. So, I mean, there must have been somebody who got away with it. I just want to know where this ATM is that'll let me pull out $40,000. Because that's no ATM I've ever seen.
I have a feeling that Chase might possibly be clamping down a bit.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Is now you've ruined it for everybody, you jerks. because now what's going to happen is those of us who do have legitimate checks, there's going to be like a 5-day hold on all checks now. So we're not going to be able to get our money.
I hope that's not true.
Now, I bet you anything that's what that. I mean, just like to this day, you can't get green onions at Taco Bell because they had to recall green onions and they were too lazy to ever reintroduce them. So now you get what's supposed to be Nachos Bel Grande, and it's basically cheese sauce and a tomato. You know, it used to be sour cream and green onions, and it was yummy. And now it's like it's
That's
not even
generally fast food. I mean,
and it costs 6 times more.
After cheating on my alleged diet and having a,
well, you haven't been on a diet in a year. I'd try. I make kale soup.
I don't want to get too far off
hand bake
the path
bread.
of what I was going to say.
I make bone broth and boil my own beans and I make pupusas with blue corn because that's lower on the glycemic level.
I want a pupusa.
And I get in the car and there's McDonald's wrappers and Snickers bars and
I don't
Pringles
eat Snickers.
and there's
I
Cheetos
eat
in the
Butterfinger.
cracks of
Thank you.
But
anyway,
I'm trying.
But anyway, not to get too far off the beaten path. The French fries were god awful. I went to McDonald's because I don't want to get into what was going on, but I had errands to run and important things to take care of. And
you had errands to run, but the car didn't.
Apparently, yeah. Okay, our car broke down. All right, there. So I'm trying to do that and do laundry. I wasn't going to do laundry, but by order of the high command, I went and did laundry.
Yeah, and thank God you did, because who knows when we're going to have a car again. Hey, folks, head on over to counterculturewise.com. Buy our crap, send us money, help us fix our car.
So from now on, if I go to McDonald's, all right, I go 2 or 3 times a year, but I'm not buying fries unless I have a chance to see the fries that are being handed out to people when they order it. It was 4 in the afternoon fries, which are not quite dinner fries. They're probably left over from 4 hours ago, lunch fries.
I thought they made the fries fresh when you ordered them. Don't they advertise that?
No, that's Five Guys.
God, their fries are good.
Yeah.
And now that they cost $9 for a small
You might as well
order,
just eat a potato.
Yeah. I make good fries.
You make outstanding fries.
Yeah, I do.
You make,
I make sweet potato fries. I make our dip.
Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hey, there's kale soup in the fridge.
There is, but I've got a show to do here. Actually,
he hates kale, so I came up with a way to make kale palatable.
It's not only palatable,
spicy
it's delicious.
sausage, butter, cream.
That's all I had to say was spicy sausage.
Yeah.
I mean,
We use cauliflower. It's actually pretty good. I think it turned out pretty good.
We're blessed to have a grocery store chain here that just their brand name stuff is absolutely great. 99% of it is.
Yeah,
there's
H-E-B spicy sausage, and they do not screw around with the spice. It's good stuff.
Now, their meat product is really good.
Yeah.
Their bacon is good. Like everything.
Yeah. We just love our H-E-B because we're in the middle of Texas and we can actually get
and
decent sushi.
Basically, it's either that or Walmart. So
forget that noise.
There's Aldi.
Yeah, I like Aldi.
Aldi, I like.
We got to always remember to do Aldi and Ollie's first, and then whatever we don't get at those, then we go to the grocery store because you save a ton.
Yeah.
But we digress.
Big time.
Big time.
And now I want a pupusa and some soup.
And soon you'll want boneless chicken wings.
And
However, boneless chicken wings do not necessarily have to be boneless.
Excuse me?
Divided Ohio Supreme Court ruled Thursday that a customer who ordered boneless chicken wings could have reasonably expected to find a piece of bone in his meal and guarded against swallowing it, because that's what boneless means. In a 4-3 decision, well, at least it was close, the state's highest court ruled that the lower courts properly dismissed Michael Birkenheimer's 2017 lawsuit against a restaurant and its chicken suppliers at the summary judgment phase. This never happens to... In 2016, Birkheimer, his wife, and a few friends dined at Wings on Brookwood in Hamilton, Ohio, where he ordered boneless wings with Parmesan garlic sauce. Great, now that's what I want.
I had the pink slime.
Oh, you did pink slime at McDonald's?
Yeah.
You didn't get a burger?
It was actually a $5 meal that included a small burger, a 4-piece chicken nuggets.
They swear they don't do the pink slime anymore. They swear.
Well,
they also swear that there's
tasted
beef in
like
their
chicken. I mean, it tasted like genuine chicken.
Well,
and had the texture of genuine
so do
chicken.
frogs and cats. And
yeah, well, whatever. No, don't say cats. I don't want my Frankie Wanky being hurt.
He's not big enough yet.
No.
Fritzy's the only one who's got meat on her bones. He said he had eaten his third wing when he felt a piece of meat go down the wrong pipe. He went to the restroom to try to clear his throat, but it was unsuccessful. Over the next 3 days, he spiked a fever and had trouble eating. During a visit to the emergency room, a doctor discovered a thin chicken bone lodged in his esophagus, measuring 5 centimeters. Okay, we're not talking a tiny piece of fragment of bone. This is significant.
That's
5
2
centimeters?
inches. It's
Is it?
2.5 centimeters is an inch. That's a 2-inch. They
Are
try to
you
make
sure?
it small.
Yeah, small
about it, yeah.
fragments. That's huge. He swallowed like the whole wing bone. Berkheimer sued Wings on Brooklyn in 2017, though the case was dismissed by lower courts. In Thursday's ruling, the majority of the Ohio Supreme Court ultimately concluded that boneless wings refers to a cooking style and is not a guarantee that fragments of bones would not be present. But that's what the name means. That is literally the point. A diner reading boneless wings on a menu would no more believe that the restaurant was warranting the absence of bones in the items than believe that the items were made from chicken wings, just as a person eating chicken fingers would know that he had not been served fingers, except that chicken wings are wings. Is Joseph T. Dieters another DEI hire?
Well, he deters. He deters people from suing for smart things.
A person eating chicken fingers would know he had not been served fingers.
He's
Yeah,
an
we
idiot.
know that. But a person eating chicken wings is literally eating chicken wings. Literally.
Yeah.
And if they're boneless, then that means you took the bones off the wings.
Yep.
Yet you're eating the meat, not the bones.
The other judges summed it up perfectly.
The dissenting judges called Dieter's reasoning utter jabberwocky, amen, and said a jury should have been allowed to decide whether the restaurant was negligent in serving Brookhoken. Now, see, that's the thing, though, is where did the wings come from?
Mm-hmm.
Because if they're just pouring them out of a frozen box, they're not going to sit, they wouldn't know.
Right.
So you'd have to go all the way to the company that made the wings.
Right.
So was the restaurant negligent in serving Berkheimer a piece of chicken that was advertised as boneless? Does anyone really believe that the parents in this country who feed their young children boneless wings or chicken tenders or chicken nuggets or chicken fingers expect bones to be in the chicken? Of course they don't. Of course they don't. And thank God this was a grown man and not a child, because that child would be dead. Justice Michael P. Donnelly wrote in dissent.
Well,
When
some
they
of
read
it
the
wasn't
word-
him. Some of it was Melanie.
A little bit. When they read the word boneless, they think that means without bones, as do all sensible people. Duh. Oh, my word.
Oh my!
Look at me, not swearing. Look at me, not swearing. One, two, one,
No,
two,
the
one, two, one, two,
video
one,
we
two,
put,
one, two,
our
one, two,
our
one, two.
classic video did all the swearing.
Yeah, it did all the
Get
swearing.
a damn job.
We're a little grouchy.
Yeah.
We might revise that. Now that I know how to somewhat draw better. 'Cause,
Okay.
woo.
Now, almost every week we say that we like Starlink. They are not a sponsor, but we would like to have it. But there is such a thing as taking it too far.
Ruh-roh.
A U.S. Navy chief who wanted the internet so she and other enlisted officers
Oh my gosh, it was a she. I didn't even read that part. Of course it was.
could scroll social media, check sports scores, and watch movies while deployed had an unauthorized Starlink satellite
So she
dish
could do her nails and
installed on a San Diego-based warship and lied to her commanding. That was the big mistake. Lying to the commanding officer
don't
to
be
keep
doing
it
that.
secret, according to investigators.
how did she? Because they're not small.
No, Odissi McFlatface is pretty big.
Yes, it's substantial. How do you hide that?
Internet
Hey, but you
access.
got to hand it to Elon, though. She was getting internet out in the middle of the dang ocean. That's bad. Badass.
Internet access is restricted while the ship is underway to maintain bandwidth for military operations and to protect against cybersecurity threats. Duh.com.
But the bandwidth would be based on if they were connected to the same internet. She had her own separate. So that didn't interfere with the bandwidth of the actual ship.
Then you go talk to the commanding officer.
Yeah, well, you lost your job because of Starlink too, so there we go.
Yeah, well, there
People
it
just
is.
don't understand Starlink.
I'm employed now, happily.
Yeah, yay.
Anyway, the Patui. The Navy quietly relieved Grisel Marrero, a command senior chief of the littoral combat ship USS Manchester in August or September 2023.
The literal combat ship? Like, literally.
I'm not sure what littoral or literal means. You can look it up while I'm continuing to yammer.
All I know is if you put a C in the front of it, it's a completely different name.
Oh my! The Navy Times was first to report on the
we
details.
We have like a full house here.
Marrero, a former information
coastal region, a shore, the region or zone between the limits of high and low tides.
Okay, thank you.
So in other words, it's it's not a blue water ship. It's more of a closer to shore ship.
Perfect. Marrero, a former information systems technician, and senior leaders paid $2,800 for the Starlink high-performance kit.
Wow.
And had it installed in April 2023 prior to deployment to Manchester, according to the investigation.
But
so
you don't install.
They had people. So there was. So it wasn't just her kind of slipping it under her pants. This is.
Well.
Crazy.
When you listen to Chuck, you'll know why she wasn't able to slip it under her pants.
Yeah, that's coming up soon, folks. Stay tuned for that one. That was good. That was good.
Thank you.
She and more than a dozen other chief petty officers used it to send messages home and keep up with the news, and bought signal amplifiers during a stop in Pearl Harbor, Hawaii, after they realized the wireless signal did not cover all areas of the ship, according to the investigation.
Crying in the mud. Just make yourself at home there, bubby. Are you going to install a hot tub next? What? For reals?
Those involved also used the Chief Petty Officer Association's debit card to pay off the $1,000 monthly Starlink bill. Oh my God! The network was not shared with rank and file sailors because they're just ribble rabble. They don't care. They don't matter. Marrero tried to hide the network, which she called Stinky, by renaming it as a printer, denying its existence, and even intercepting a comment about the network left in the commanding officer's suggestion box, according to the investigation. Marrero did not respond, of course, to an AP email Friday seeking comment because she doesn't have her internet anymore.
Yeah, sorry, I wasn't able to check my email.
This is hilarious. In March, she was convicted at a court-martial where she pleaded guilty to dereliction of duty and providing false official statements to commanders, the Navy Times reported. She was demoted to a chief petty officer after trial.
Yeah, that's the great thing about the military is they can't fire you.
And throw you in the brig for a while. Marrero was relieved due to a loss of confidence in her leadership abilities. No kidding, said spokesperson Commander Cindy Fields.
Yeah, not really setting a good example there. Booby.
Navy senior enlisted leaders are expected to uphold the highest standards of responsibility, reliability, and leadership, and the Navy holds them accountable when they fall short of those standards, Fields said. Last week, a commander of the destroyer USS John McCain was relieved of duty after he was seen in a...
Whose son apparently is not voting for Trump, so that's a big deal. And Chuck will talk about that too.
Son? That doesn't matter.
Yeah.
She looks like a son. Anyway.
No, not her. That's
Oh, that's Liz Cheney.
Yeah.
I'm getting all
your
mixed
Cheneys
up.
and your McCain's mixed up.
I'm Liz Cheney. Yes, I'm the real Cheney.
And Bush, God bless him, just said, "I'm out. I ain't
Bush
nobody."
is smart.
Yeah.
Bush ain't getting involved.
Bush is all like, "I'm out of this, man."
He's 100 years old. Just let him sit over in the corner.
He's not that old.
He's old enough.
Yeah, I guess
A commander of the USS destroyer USS John McCain, which was not shot down in Vietnam, was relieved of duty after he was seen in a photo firing. What?
I hate it when Navy ships get shot down.
I know, isn't that awful when Navy ships get shot down in Vietnam?
Woo, doggy.
Firing a rifle with a scope mounted backward. Oh, I remember that one. The image brought the Navy considerable ridicule on social media.
Do they have the picture?
Yeah, you can. There's photos. Click on the link.
Okay.
It's there.
Yeah, I remember that.
We talked about it. It's been a little while.
It's been a while, but yeah, that was hilarious.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there any particular reason why I'm the one who has to read this one?
No, I'm happy to do it.
No, I'll do it. Yikes.
Yeah, this is husbanding 101. Whatever this guy did, Don't do it.
Yeah.
An Indiana man admitted to putting a poisonous off-white powdery substance into his wife's Coca-Cola so he could kill her and marry her daughter.
Oh,
according to state court records.
No.
I'm going to let that sink in for a moment.
No, Woody, not again. Bad Woody, bad.
Leave Woody alone. So you got nothing to do with Woody. Alfred Ruff, 71, pleaded guilty to aggravated battery in July for trying to poison his wife. He was sentenced on Monday to 4 years in prison and 5 years of probation, Indiana court records show. Ruff told officers in January 2022 that he had been spiking his wife's drink over the last few months with a substance given to him by his wife's daughter.
Wait, she was killing her own mom?
Yeah.
Who?
According to it gets worse. According to a probable, because I did actually read this one in
He's
advance.
71?
Yes.
How old is this kid?
We'll get there.
Why isn't this all at the beginning?
I don't know.
They told us the brand name of the frickin' soda, but they couldn't tell us how old the kid was?
By the time you're doing stuff like that, you're not a kid.
Oh, well.
Anyway, Ruff's wife, who called the Wayne County Sheriff's Department and told them about her husband's actions, gave the responding deputy a pill bottle that contained the unknown powdery substance, the affidavit says. She also gave the deputy a Coca-Cola aluminum can that she drank and cut open. At the bottom of the can was an off-white residue, the document continued.
So, did she start tasting it? How does she know? I'll be over here being quiet. You
Thank
read.
you.
Okay, sorry.
Tell you all these
I'm
things.
way over here, not reading. Murph.
Another deputy took Ruff's wife to a hospital where she tested positive for having MDMA, cocaine, and benzos in her blood and urine, according to the affidavit.
I don't think he put all of that in her Coke, did he?
Yep.
Wow.
She denied using the drugs, the document says. Once the state changed the nature of the offense, he took responsibility for what he did wrong.
Oh, whoopsie, me poisoning.
His
My
defense
bad.
attorney told USA on Tuesday. That's the appropriate thing to do. When deputies interviewed a then 69-year-old Ruff at the sheriff's office in January 22, he told them that he was sexually involved with his wife's 31-year-old daughter from a previous marriage.
That's like Kamala and what's his name?
Willie Brown.
Yeah.
See, I told you I would let you know how old she was, and I told you. Isn't that great? He then explained that his wife's daughter gave him the pill bottle with a powdery substance.
Do we know what this guy looks like? I want to see this
not here,
71-year-old Alfred Ruff.
But yeah, his wife's daughter wanted this. She was wanting him.
She's kooky.
They're both kooky. Anyway, his wife's daughter gave him the pill bottle with the powdery substance in September 2021 and instructed him to put it in her mother's drink, the court document continued. Ruff was the only person charged in connection with the crimes.
McGurd. This is what the dude looks like. That's what the dude looks like.
I'm not sure how his wife would have been attracted to him, let alone his daughter. He must be charming as heck in real life. I don't know.
They just keep saying the daughter. She doesn't get a name.
Ruff told the deputies that the drug, no, I don't know yet. It would make his wife go to sleep for 13 hours or so, the affidavit says. He also confessed he put in the drugs in the drink to eventually kill her, according to the document. The daughter and her female friend would call. See, there's a female friend involved, too.
Oh, good grief.
And tell Ruff to give the drugs to his wife, he told the deputies per the affidavit.
This guy must have been hung like a horse.
I couldn't say. Alfred
You
would then
couldn't today?
sprinkle. I couldn't say, and I wouldn't know. Alfred would then sprinkle some of the white powder in his wife's Coca-Cola can and then wait for her to fall asleep. The affidavit says the women would then come to Alfred's residence and put more of an unknown substance in Ruff's wife's drink and have her drink it. Once Ruff's wife was asleep, her daughter and her daughter's friend would put on a show for Ruff.
He must have like really good drugs.
The show involved the two women putting on Ruff's wife's negligees and then performing sex acts on each other.
Oh, so they didn't actually touch him.
I don't know.
They were just messing with his head.
Ruff also told authorities that while he was having sex with his wife's daughter or her friend, one of the women would steal some of his wife's personal items. He also admitted to paying the women to perform sex acts, the affidavit says. He looks like a guy who would pay for sexual acts.
He looks like a guy who would have to.
Yeah, there's that.
He was just their sugar daddy. They were just making money off of him.
The victim's daughter told Ruff she wanted to get mom out of the picture once she found out they were selling their home, according to the affidavit. The affidavit, the victim's daughter also mentioned a life insurance policy to Ruff that her mother had in place, the court document says.
Ain't nobody showing pictures of these broads.
Ruff confirmed to deputies that he gave his wife the powdery substance 12 times from September through December 2021. He also told deputies the victim's daughter said she and Ruff would get married after they took care of the wife, according to the court filing. Although Ruff acknowledged he knew the drugs would eventually kill his wife, he also said he gave her the substance just so her daughter and her daughter's friend could come over and have sex with him, according to the affidavit.
Ew.
Ruff came clean to his wife because he felt bad, he told deputies per the affidavit.
After she found it and reported it.
He also detailed taking his wife to the hospital 6 times due to the symptoms she was having from the drug cocktail, including bad headaches, drowsiness, diarrhea, and lightheadedness, according to the court filing.
This poor woman, she loses her daughter and her scary-looking husband at the same time. Husband's not a great loss, but...
He's a creeper.
Your own daughter? I mean, that's ow. That's horrible. The poor woman, that she had to look at that, and it still cheated on her. Ugh. Black. Huh. What is it? That's why we can't have...
of him.
Yeah, that's why we can't have nice things, ladies and gentlemen. Yipe.
One more.
This one hurts my heart. And it hurt a lot of other people's hearts too. So, the stupid archiver covered up half the story, but let's see how much I can get. Death of a beloved beluga whale that showed up. I don't know if I can pronounce this, but his name is Valdemir.
It's just Vladimir.
It's just Vladimir is how they pronounce it. So apparently he just showed up out of nowhere and had a harness on him that they think was meant to have a spy camera. And so they assumed that he was a trained whale from Russia. And he was super friendly. They think he escaped and just became like beloved in this little village. So they're not sure where he came from, but anyways, 2 Norwegian animal rights groups alleged on Wednesday that he was shot to death. And I accidentally was stupid enough to go look at the pictures, and I should not have. One whale and NOAA are calling for a criminal investigation based on compelling evidence that the whale was killed by gunshot wounds. So this whale, there's video after video after video of him just coming up to a boat, and he loved pets, and he liked you to scratch around his blowhole, and he was just like really friendly. He actually one time somebody dropped their phone, and he retrieved it for them. I mean, he was just the neatest thing. Anyways, several veterinarians, biologists, and ballistics experts have reviewed the evidence of Vladimir's injuries, determining that the whale's death was the result of a criminal act.
That is sad.
The post included pictures of what appeared to be holes and streaks of blood on the lifeless body of the whale. They weren't able to verify the claim, but it was pretty obvious that's what happened. I just can't imagine who would do such a thing other than, I guess, the Russian guy that was sent in. I mean, it's not like he was going to tell him anything. Yeah. The organizations filed a police report to the Sands Police Department and the Norwegian National Authority for Investigation and Prosecution of the Economic Environmental Crime. The Southwestern Police District confirmed to CNN on Wednesday that it has received a request to investigate the death of Vladimir, though the unit has yet to determine whether it will open a formal inquiry. I don't think we've seen a case like this before. He was kind of a celebrity. I'm going to go see if I can find video of him.
The thing that strikes me about the source of this news, I've never seen 3 networks on one channel before.
3 networks on one channel? Local News 8, ABC. Well, it's local news, so maybe that's the best they can do. I don't know.
That's weird.
That is weird. It's basically CNN. They're all owned by the same people now, so.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so the beluga was named by combining the Norwegian word for whale, hval, with the first name of the Russian President Vladimir Putin. He was lifted out of the water with a crane and taken to a nearby harbor where experts were to examine. The marine biologist told the station that his cause of death was not immediately clear and that no major external injuries were visible. There were major external injuries. I saw them. He was definitely a trained animal, and evidence suggested that the whale had come from Russia. The harness that he appeared in was specially made and had mounts for GoPro cameras on each side of it. The harness clips read Equipment St. Petersburg, only contributed to the popular theory that he came from Russia and was trained by the Russian Navy. Yeah, so poor whale. For some reason, when you archive it, it doesn't give you the original pictures, which is annoying. Let's see if I can find the original pictures, because sweet whale child. Let's see here. I don't know why it doesn't show the pictures. So weird. Oh, because they each. Oh, okay. Most of these weren't actual pictures. They were like quotes, and they didn't. There's not a single picture on this whole article. How do I find a picture that had no articles?
You mean an article that had no pictures?
You know what I meant. Don't listen to what I say. Listen to what I mean.
But does our audience, the newt,
does
know?
The snail? Does the
snail
newt?
know? They don't. You got to be clear. They only speak limited English.
That's true. But they are a very good audience. I mean, especially the newt.
All right.
You got to love an audience member that can lick their own eyeballs.
True. Is your boss texting you after work? Do you get a please fix email while you're on vacation?
All the time.
It happens. In some countries, you can now simply ignore all of these notes once you're off the clock. Australia recently joined the ranks of countries like France, Spain, and Belgium by passing a right to disconnect law, which came into effect on August 26. This legislation allows employees to step away from work-related communications outside their official working hours, ensuring that personal time remains personal. While this development is welcome news for many workers in Australia, not everyone is on board. Shark Tank personality and investor Kevin O'Leary is one of the outspoken critics of the legislation. This kind of stuff just makes me crazy. It's so dumb. Who dreams this crap up is my question. And why would anybody propose such a stupid idea? He said in a clip he shared of a recent interview with Fox. As an investor and entrepreneur, let's try that again. I know what it is. I am one. As an investor and entrepreneur, O'Leary places great importance on the seamless
entrepreneur,
operation.
but are you a robust wombat?
I could never be the robust wombat that you wanted. I apologize.
Wouldn't that just be a great name for a punk band?
Yes.
Oi, Cincinnati, we're the robust wombats.
Kitten in the microwave. Put a kitten in the microwave.
Oh.
That's from
No.
That's from a play I wrote a long time ago. It was a song.
You wrote? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think I vetted you fully before I married you.
You really didn't. And for the record, I would never put the Frankie Frank in a microwave.
Not that particular kitten, but
or any other kitten. I love cats. Anyway, okay. He has voiced strong concerns about employers' ability to reach their employees in urgent situations, highlighting potential issues with the right to disconnect laws. What happens if you have an event in the office and it's closed? Or you have an emergency somewhere and you have to get a hold of them at 2 a.m. because it affects the job they're working on, he questioned.
No, I mean, it depends on the job, though, because every job
Right.
I've ever had,
right.
you know, if you need to be on call for certain things.
I think,
but, as an accountant or, a coder or something like, unless the code was like going
here's
out.
the thing. For jobs like that, that's usually part of the job description when you interview for a job or you accept a raise or a promotion.
Exactly.
You're supposed to agree to that. I know that if you're in management, call center management especially, because I've done a lot of that work, you're expected to be on call. I was on call. Yeah. I knew that, and I knew the possibility of being called in was slim to none.
Well, every job I've ever had on the application says, evenings and weekends as needed.
Right.
It doesn't mean necessarily that it's going to be needed, but yeah.
I don't think you should. I don't think it's a great idea. But anyway, I get where they're coming from. You don't want to be,
it shouldn't be a law, though.
Yeah,
it should be.
That's what's stupid.
That you have to let them know if it's. I don't know.
Anyway, if employees start ignoring their boss's calls, texts, and emails outside of work hours, an after-hours emergency might have to wait until the next business day, which O'Leary finds unacceptable.
Especially on the weekend. Yeah.
When asked whether he ever encounters employees who silence their phones outside of work, O'Leary didn't hesitate with his response. The next moment is, I just fire them.
Here's the thing, though. If he supplies the phone and they have the understanding that in an emergency they should be contactable, that's one thing. But if it's their own personal phone, screw them.
Yeah. It just, like I said, it depends on the job and the situation. But normally, you know, when I was a manager, that was expected of me. I had a phone on me.
Yeah.
Or actually, in my case, I had my personal phone, but we had something similar to a WhatsApp. I don't remember what the thing was, where they contact you if they need you, or if there's anything that needs to be discussed. You were supposed to have it charged and ready to roll. So, I mean, it just depends on the job. While O'Leary's criticism is rooted in the risk of not being able to contact staff during critical moments, proponents of the right to disconnect argue that such laws are essential for establishing clear boundaries between professional duties and personal well-being. In a statement about the new legislation, Australia's Minister for Employment and Workplace Relations, Murray Watt, said, "Why is my name Murray Watt?" Anyway.
It's a very Australian name.
All my friends say, Murray Watt?
Murray Watt? Murray Watt?
Murray Watt? Jolly good, eh, Watt?
Hey, what?
Clocking off used to mean something in this country. It meant time with your kids, time with your friends, or just time to relax.
Yeah, you do kind of need a work-life balance. Yeah.
You do? Well, you know, there's an argument that could be made.
Okay, if you have a needy boss who's calling you every 5 minutes, that's one thing. But if we're talking about, I just need you to be available because of an emergency, like, oh, you locked the boss in the freezer and took the keys home with you, you know? Which, by the way, based on a real story, literally happened. I was not the one who took the keys home.
Watt highlighted how technology has blurred the lines between work and personal life, leaving many Australians feeling pressure to stay connected to emails and calls even after the workday is over. He asserted that it should not be controversial that workers shouldn't be required to do unpaid overtime. Well, that's the thing. I mean, normally when you're doing things like that, you're salaried, and that's just part of the expectation. Despite the, while the U.S. doesn't have the right to disconnect laws at the federal level, California made an attempt to introduce such legislation. Assembly Bill 2751, spearheaded by Assembly member Matt Haney, was designed to establish this right for employees across the Golden State. According to the Legislative Council Digest, this bill would require a public or private employer to establish a workplace policy that provides employers the right to disconnect from communications from the employer during non-working hours, except as specified. I hope by as specified means you got the job with the expectation that you are on call on occasion. Maybe you have a rotating on-call person or what have you. That's part of the job.
Yeah.
Anyway, despite the potential impact, it did not come to fruition, thank God. The bill was shelved for the 2024 legislative session, putting a temporary halt to the push for a formal right to disconnect in
the formal right to disconnect.
The formerly Golden State.
Yes. Well, folks, we're going to let Chuck say a few words, and we will be right back with Florida Man. You know you want it.
And now CCW News presents Holy Crap, This Is Actually Happening! Totally Obvious Edition, September 8, 2024. I'm Chuck U. Farley. The big news this week is that Biden ended the Gaza war by writing Hamas a sternly worded letter. Or at least that's what the giant stuffed rabbit told him. Hamas responded by sending him a video of them brutally murdering an American citizen they've been torturing since October 7th. It seems that once you've exchanged the Merchant of Death for a barely passable WNBA pothead, there's not much leverage left when negotiating with terrorists. This isn't the first sternly written letter that the Biden regime has penned on the subject. Last year, his handlers had him sign 2 letters, one to Israel supporters promising to end the war by sending the IDF a continuous stream of U.S. tax dollars, the other to Palestine supporters promising to end the war by sending Hamas a continuous stream of U.S. tax dollars. Back when all social media platforms were run by easily triggered, censorious government shills, they all agreed that the scary-looking gun emoji should be replaced with a kinder, gentler-looking squirt gun. Because priorities? Recently, the no longer lefty ex-Twitter platform reverted the squirt gun emoji back to its original pistol design, setting off lefties because they honestly believe that seeing a tiny picture of a pew-pew will lead to more real-world violence. Because of such egregious allowances of free speech, Brazilian Supreme Court Justice Alexandre de Moraes blocked ex-Twitter from the entire country after demanding that the platform suspend accounts he didn't like in order to save their democracy. Sounds familiar? Elon Musk told him to pound sand. Moraes then froze the assets of SpaceX's Starlink businesses and tried to collect over $3 million in fines. So, Musk offered to provide Brazilians his internet services for free. Moraes also threatened any Brazilian who tried to bypass his censorship by using a VPN with fines up to $9,000 per day. Overkill much there, Goebbels? Turkey became the first NATO country to apply for BRICS, the economic alliance that includes such bastions of free speech and human rights as Russia, China, Iran, South Africa, and of course, Brazil. For some strange reason, the U.S. armed forces are facing a recruiting shortage. The lack of manpower, woman power, and trans power has led to the Navy sidelining 17 vessels. Meanwhile, while the Navy has a surplus of ships, it has run out of pants and won't have any more till October. I swear, I am not making this up. Officials aren't worried, though, since DEI practices have not only reduced the number of servicemen, but also reduced the number of men who would wear pants anyway. Men who identify as bullies who pretend to be women have won yet another victory, this time in Australia. A man who calls himself Roxanne Tickle, I swear I am not making this up, sued the owner of the female-only social networking platform Giggle for Girls after he was denied access because, despite his ridiculous name, he was obviously a man. Giggle was set up as a safe space for women to discuss and share their experiences, but the Federal Court of Australia ruled that it is sexual discrimination to allow actual women any safe spaces. Several lifelong Democrats have publicly endorsed President Donald Trump since the coup that euthanized Biden and installed diversity hire Harris, who has yet to receive a single vote. Other issues cited are wide-open borders, state-sanctioned child mutilation, a failing economy, and funding both sides of several hot wars. Most notable are Elon Musk, Tulsi Gabbard, and RFK Jr., who suspended his own presidential run to do so. Meanwhile, trans Democrats Dick and daughter Liz Cheney, Adam Kinzinger, and Mike Pence have all publicly announced their support for Kamala Harris, which is effectively a rousing endorsement for Trump. The nanosecond RFK endorsed Trump, the Harris-Biden cabal again pulled his Secret Service detail. Given recent events, this move made him infinitely safer. Now he is being sued by the DNC to be kept off and kept on the ballot, depending on what state is running or not, will most benefit the Democrats. If that doesn't work, they'll arrest him for taking a chainsaw to a whale carcass, because that totally happened. In other cheating news, the California Senate just passed a bill outlawing voter ID laws, because that's not obvious or anything. For CCW News, this has been Holy Crap, This is Actually Happening! I'm Chuck U. Farley. Good night, and may God help us.
Song is Bad Idea.
Yeah, sounds like it.
So that's the creep that is, and our government isn't not interested at all that a foreign country is trying to sanction and ruin an American citizen. They're just like, okay. It just shows you the state of. Just don't get me started. Yeah. So that is where we are at right now. But like I promised. Like she promised.
Ever had a day you felt so stupid, lacking a brain? Well, here's a guy who'll make you feel like a genius and maybe even sane.
All the world loves to laugh at losers as often as they can. Here comes another chance to chuckle. Here comes
a Florida man.
That is definitely the
Actually
consummate
sound
Florida
like
man.
I'm laughing at the end of that song.
I think you were.
I think I might have been. It's been a few years since we recorded that one.
Yeah, that was fun. I had fun finding the videos for it too. I mean, a lot of them were not very good quality, but you get the gist.
Yeah.
The guy with the barbecue grill on his makeshift boat with the American flag, I think, says it all.
That is Florida.
God
man.
bless America. You
And Florida.
gotta love it. You know, you just can't help but love it. So okay, so we when we do Florida Man, we want to. I mean, some of them, of course, there's going to be violence and whatnot, but we try to rule out the guy kills his kid and whatever.
Right.
We try to find the ones that are just eye rolling.
Yeah.
This one, we were going to report on this separately, but then we had enough Florida men to actually do this.
This is more like Florida hospital more than Florida man.
Yeah.
Florida doctor. It's just awful.
Yeah.
Awful.
So this,
awful.
just, yeah. I mean, what do you say? What do you say? Okay. A Northwest Florida doctor is accused of removing the wrong organ
The wrong organ?
during a recent surgery, allegedly resulting in the death of an Alabama man. This poor man ended up in Australia. Not in Australia. Might as well be Australia. In Florida. So this poor man, William Byron, died August 21st, just 2 days before his 34th wedding anniversary.
Oh, man.
When his liver was removed during an operation that was intended to remove his spleen. Who removes a liver? You can't remove the liver. That's not a thing. There's no...
If you drink enough, you can, remove your liver.
Only if you get a transplant. His widow, Beverly, is now demanding accountability.
He was 70, definitely was.
Still, he was 70, but... I know I'm not the only wife that's lost their husband recently, she said, but the loss of my Bill was exceptionally unnecessary and brutal. Well, hopefully he didn't wake up long enough to know what had happened to him. How do you... Seriously, even I would be able to tell you the difference between the spleen and the liver. Beverly and Bill traveled from Muscle Shoals, Alabama to enjoy vacation in their condo in Destin. While they were there, Bill began feeling pain in his left side. He went to Sacred Heart at the Emerald Coast, and he was admitted and became a patient of Dr. Thomas
Shaknovsky.
After running tests, she says doctors identified a cyst that had ruptured and bled around his spleen. She says she wanted to bring Bill back to his own doctors in North Alabama. Oh, boo, always follow your instincts. I tried to convince Dr.
S.
to let me take him home or arrange to be transported, she said, but Dr. S said that Bill would bleed to death if he was moved. Oh, dear. On August 21st, Bill underwent surgery to remove his spleen. Bless you, Macamow. But by that evening, he was dead. They took him from us while he was completely helpless on an operating room table. They removed his liver instead of his spleen, so of course he bled to death. Oh, my Lord. How... There were other people there. Were they? Excuse me. That's about 5 times the size of the thing you're supposed to actually be removing. And just okay, I'll be over here eating my sandwich. Everyone knows you can't live without your liver. It's about the same thing as if they pulled out his heart. Liver. According to a report from Ascension Sacred Heart Emerald Coast, ASHE. Dr. Thomas S. is identified as the primary surgeon. If I ever found a... See, this is why they put their degree on the wall, but not their
score, their grades.
Yeah. Because remember, there's going to be a doctor that just barely passed. Pensacola attorney, what is with the name? Joe Zazor, who was hired by the family, gave Ware News.
Well, not everybody has a nice name like Melanie Hope that just falls off the tongue.
It is a really good name. Operative documentation from the hospital details the operation and what led up to it. The document reveals Bill Byron was admitted to the hospital August 18 and indicates several tests were done, including an MRI and CT scan. Now, I remember when I went in for my knee surgery, they made me, with a Sharpie, mark the knee that was supposed to be operated on. Well, you can't really do that to your spleen.
No, you really can't.
Maybe take an MRI or
You just
something,
put-
like circle
take a
it.
little big
This
go
thing right
approximately
here.
Right here.
Yeah. Okay, so my client went to Sacred Heart. He was treated by Dr. S and recommended they go through a splenectomy, removal of the spleen. Well, no, it said there was stuff around the spleen. It didn't say there's anything wrong with the spleen itself. When Bill went into surgery, Zazor says that's when something went wrong. You think? Something like removing the wrong organ, maybe? The report states Bill lost a lot of blood during the procedure and his blood pressure dropped abruptly, sending him into cardiac arrest. Efforts to resuscitate him were unsuccessful, according to the document. Zazor also provided the surgical pathology report from the hospital. It showed the organ labeled, quote, spleen was something else. Oy vey. Dr. S was intending to take out the spleen. When the spleen was sent to pathology at the hospital, the pathologist at the hospital after the procedure was over said, "This is not a spleen. This is a liver." Zazor pointed to the operative document saying that's not what the doctor reported. The doctor reported as if it was a spleen complication. Of course he lied. And that the patient had actually died from a spleen operation that went bad. So he was lying. Zazor intends to file
So you
a
were
civil
lying.
lawsuit. Yeah. Dude screwed up, murdered somebody, and lied about it. And has he been suspended? Has he been fired? Is he still butchering people? Maybe he can go work for one of those hospitals that does that thing with the children's genitals. It sounds like he'd be good at that.
They're being protective. They're not saying anything yet.
This poor woman.
I can't even imagine that. Could you imagine if I'd gone to the hospital that day and they'd I don't know, taken just some other organ that was perfectly healthy?
Well, especially since you went in for your heart, it would really suck if they wanted to remove that. But yeah, to take out your liver instead of your spleen. I mean, come on. I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
There's one thing to say the doctor doesn't know his ass from the hole in the ground, but there's another thing to say he doesn't know the spleen from the liver. I'm just saying. You had one job, dude. One job. Well, we're just going to assume that this guy was a real doctor, because this guy, not so much.
Well, I was just going to joke about it, but a man accused of
No, go
portraying
ahead and
himself
joke.
as a medical
Did you have a
doctor.
better joke? Did you have a better joke? Did you have a better joke?
Yeah.
Did you? Did you? What was
Yes,
it?
I
What
did.
was it? What was it?
A man accused of portraying himself as a medical doctor in Florida and operated on a dude's liver is wanted by the Metropolitan Bureau of Investigation.
Seriously.
Oh, man. Wow. The FBI announced Tuesday an arrest warrant for Juan Carlos Ignacio Munoz Melgar.
You don't get all the names, Juan. You cannot have them. First of all...
He even tried to steal mine. He wound up with Munoz, but come on.
Yeah, that's really close.
Yeah, this is not the same doctor, just for the record.
No, it's not.
On charges of practicing medicine without a license. Munoz Melgar was previously arrested on November 15, 2023, following an investigation in his Orlando office located at 11301 South Orange Blossom
office
Trail.
and everything?
Yeah.
You're just like, okay, I'm a doctor now.
In which he targeted specific groups who he felt would pay him cash and not ask questions, according to a news release.
Always
by the
something
FBI.
I look for in a doctor.
Willing to take cash and not ask questions.
Not ask questions.
He was charged with practicing medicine without a license and misleading the public that a person is a licensed medical doctor. He identified other groups he would not see as patients because he believed they would sue him, said the news release. Oy. Dude bonded out of jail following the November 2023 arrest, but agents received tips he was continuing to practice medicine without a license from a home in St. Cloud, the FBI said. Oh, what an idiot. What an idiot. The only bigger idiots are the ones that were
He got
paying
people
him.
to pay him. Yeah, I was gonna say he's not that dumb because somebody
But
actually.
did he actually do anything? I mean, did he actually cure any of their problems?
I can't imagine that he would be allowed to prescribe anything. And I mean, what else? It didn't. That picture's misleading, so I'm going to skip the picture in the next article because it was very misleading. So the headline of this is Internet tells Florida man to burn his car after they find out what's living inside of it. And I'm sure everybody immediately goes, oh, it was spiders, wasn't it? Not yet. A man who brought his car to a garage to get fixed never expected what he would find when it was finally returned. Reddit user Mason, who posts to the site under who cares, blah, 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 8,000 upvotes, found these in my car door after getting it back from a repair shop. The image showed multiple white clumps. I see these all the time. I know what those are. On the inside of his door, covered with cobwebs, something that will get arachnophobes' hearts racing. You know, I've heard that word a million times, but I've never actually seen it in print. Huh. Usually it's the opposite for me, that I've seen it and I don't know how to pronounce it.
Yep.
Like reading the entire series thinking that her name was Hermione. Mason from Tampa, Florida told Newsweek that they were egg sacs and said he removed them as soon as possible after taking the photograph. You'd think that the car repair shop would have done that. Reddit commenters were horrified by the photo, with one saying that they would nuke the car and another adding, if you ever wanted to torch a car, now's your chance. Well, the thing is...
Set it on fire.
He said, now I'll be selling that car tomorrow. Other commenters said the sacs were from a brown widow spider, one of 4 widow species that can be found in Florida. Yeah, okay. How would they know that? You can tell just by looking at it what kind of babies are going to come out of there. Because, you know, bajillions of babies come out of those
I
things.
know, those things are scary.
Get them out before they hatch because each egg sac can have over 100 baby spiders in there, one user posted. Another wrote, definitely brown widow sacs. Congrats on the new family. While unlikely to bite, brown widows reproduce quickly and frequently. The FDAC says, and it can be abundant on man-made structures such as houses, garages, or, in Mason's case, cars. Their egg sacs are identifiable by being spherical with silk tufts, while other widow species sacs are pear-shaped. Well, the more you know. If Mason's Reddit photo wasn't nightmare-inducing enough, he told Newsweek there was one more interesting thing in his car after his trip to the repair shop. I found a small hornet's nest in both the passenger and driver's side doors. What did they do? Just leave the door open? Or like all the doors open in the middle of a field?
I don't know.
Small hornet's nest on both the passenger and driver's side doors exterior, and there was also one under my car's hood.
Yarg.
Luckily, they were abandoned. How long did this repair shop have his car? Mason did not contact the repair shop after making the discoveries, instead simply removing the nests and egg sacs and posting the finds to Reddit. He wrote in a comment that his car had been in the repair shop for several months and only recently noticed the egg sacs after having it back for a few... Oh, he had those in there for a few weeks. They must be dormant or dead. As for the massive response it had online, it's nice seeing everyone as freaked out as I was about it. Yee! So hornet's nests and spider egg sacs. Yeah, they must have just had the doors open or something. Why would you have your car at a repair shop for months? Gosh, I hope that's not what's going to happen to us.
I think ours is a lot more simple, and I think probably in his case, he may not have had the money to pay them.
Which we don't either. So head over to counterculturewise.com and help us with our repair fund. Actually, the car is
formerly
parked
the beer
outside.
fund.
Formerly, yeah.
Okay.
Next, Florida man.
Another terrifying thing. A family in DeLand experienced a terrifying ordeal on Sunday afternoon when bullets began flying into their home.
Bullets?
The Volusia... Bullets?
Bullet? Like bang bang?
Yeah. The Volusia County Sheriff's Office said the family quickly took cover and called 911 for help. Body camera video documents when deputies arrived at the home on Evergreen Trace at 12:30. My girl and my son are in the bathroom laying down, one of the victims said.
They just walk out. Okay, everybody else is laying down. I'm fine.
My girl and my son are in the bathroom laying down, one of the victims said after the bullet struck the home. The adults and children were evacuated from the home, and deputies began to search the area for the shooter, the sheriff's office said. After a brief search, it was discovered that the shooter turned out to be an intoxicated neighbor on nearby Virginia Avenue who was shooting at a tree in his backyard, the news release stated.
Shooting
When deputies confronted 38-year-old Alex Kudlak, he told them, "Yeah, I'm a dumbass."
Do you think that was the word he used?
That was the exact word he used,
Oh,
yes.
okay, because all I've got is stars.
I'm sorry. Dumb Alex, dumb
just...
Axel,
a
dumb Abercrombie.
There was no A. It just says dumb star.
Okay.
There could have been a lot of different 4-letter words in there.
That's fine.
You chose a 3-letter word. Because you're cute.
Kudlak was arrested and booked into the Volusia County Jail for 1 count of shooting into a dwelling, 1 count of using a firearm while under the influence, 2 counts of child endangerment, 1 count of criminal mischief.
Criminal mischief. Good grief, dude. Why would you shoot at your poor innocent tree? And you're in a neighborhood. It's not like you're out here on 5 acres of nothingness. You're in a neighborhood.
We actually have a firing range in
Yeah,
our
we
neighborhood.
like right down the road. Yeah, we could go in our backyard and shoot guns anytime we wanted to. Get us some guinea hens. Did I say that out loud?
Yeah.
Reet. Actually, I haven't heard them for a while. Maybe they already got them. Yeah, we hear people banging around out here all the
So,
time.
this guy may be able to run for vice president before very long.
Yeah, if that if that Waltz character doesn't work out, this guy, we can take him. Florida man fakes military service, forges DD-214 document to get benefits. What a tool. What an absolute tool. Crystal River of Florida. A Crystal River man was arrested after he faked service in the military and forged a DD-214 document. Affectionately known as the WD-40 in this household.
Yes, it is. I've had to pull that out quite a bit lately.
Yeah.
But it paid off.
Yeah. Good jobs. Officials suspected Brendan Jess Cox of forging the document and submitting it to the Florida Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles. A DD-214 document is a certificate of release discharge from active duty in the military. The United States Department of Defense issues that to service members after they retire, leave, or are discharged from active duty. These forms also help members access benefits and veterans organizations, which are life-saving. Thank Jesus that we had access to that. The MacDill Air Force Base Army Criminal Investigation Division, good grief with the thing, searched Cox's records but found no history of military service. Cox was arrested on charges of knowingly making false statements as opposed to like, whoopsie doodle, did I slip into that DD-214? During the application for a Florida driver's license and violating provision. Why would you need it for a Florida driver's license? Do you get like a special little something?
I think you get a special thing or maybe a discount on it.
Discounts at Lowe's, yeah.
Yeah.
He was, which we do partake in. He was taken to Citrus County Detention Facility. Cox, who is also registered sex offender, he's a winner, is being held without bond. Well,
without bond. No Goldfinger movie for you.
Really?
I don't know.
Really?
I'm in a weird mood.
My.
Be careful what you compliment people on.
Yeah. Watch out because people out there get really offended if you tell them their car is awesome. You're up. It's all you, boo.
Oh, I thought I just read. Okay, all right.
No,
yeah.
that was just me with the DD-2 W40.
Sorry, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, where have you been?
Hey, Florida man, sitting right
We are
next
not
to my
drinking,
love.
ladies and gentlemen. We are not drinking.
No, actually, we are completely sober.
It's perfectly pover right here.
Bober's a sudge.
Couldn't even drive to get it if we wanted it.
A Florida man has turned himself in after an assault that took place in Lake Wells area of Polk County, Florida, in which he punched another driver in the face for a strange reason. According to the Polk County Sheriff's Office...
Look at this guy. Hey, you looking at me? Hey, I got something to say to you.
According to Polk County Sheriff's Office, on Sunday around 5:45, the driver was headed down Tyndall Camp Road on the way to the scenic highway when John Sturgeon suddenly stopped his vehicle, approached the driver, and punched him in the face.
Okay, I'm confused now.
Yeah.
So, why did both cars stop?
Don't know.
Why is the first car stopped at all? How did he get there to go punchy? I'm confused.
Deputies asked the victim what might have been the provocation of the attack, and the victim said he waved his hand at Sturgeon, a 53-year-old, and told him he had a nice car. Sturgeon didn't take kindly to that. I'm trying to tell you, nice car, bro. I like your car, the victim can be heard saying in dash cam video released by the Polk County Sheriff's Office. The video showed Sturgeon walking from his Dodge Challenger back to the victim and back to his car after punching him.
Why did he take video of himself punching somebody?
Don't know.
I'm so confused.
Let's see.
Here's the warrant. Caught in a video, dash camera. Oh, it's the victim's. Oh, so he was in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
But why did he stop? Why did they both stop? I'm so confused. Okay, 53-year-old sturgeon winner caught victims.
Yeah,
dash
it's the
camera,
same thing that just said.
Blardy.
Polk County
Deputies
Sheriff
asked,
said they went
blah,
to Sturgeon's
blah.
home in Winter
5'9",
Haven,
Crime Stoppers, yardy.
but he wasn't there, so they issued a warrant for his arrest. After his road rage video went viral in the area, he turned himself in.
I'm still so confused, though, why were both cars pulled over on the side of the road? And he gets out, and he comes back and punches the guy, so why was that?
Because
we're missing something.
Yeah,
There's more to this story.
There's a very
There's more
limited.
to this story. I call foul. Boo.
Well, I'm already bored with it, so we're moving on. I'm so easily bored.
I call foul. Boo. Boo. All right. This one's going to be interesting. Attempted Walmart kidnapper had active GPS anklet on when he tried to shove a woman into his car. Good old Florida. Juan Perez was arrested and charged with armed robbery with a deadly weapon, aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, battery, and attempted kidnapping, but no mischievous mischief, with intent to inflict harm after the incident that unfolded at the Walmart on South Goldenrod Road on Monday afternoon, according to Orlando Police Department. The 54-year-old man was caught on surveillance footage pacing around the parking lot before approaching the victim, police said. Perez allegedly demanded the woman's purse at knife point before forcing her into the trunk of her own car. So here's dude, and there's trunk. Okie dokie. If you keep this up, I'll slice your throat, Perez allegedly told the victim as he kept trying to take her purse, according to an arrest affidavit. I'm just picturing, oh crud, now I can't think of her name from Laugh-In, smacking him with her purse and not letting
Ruth
him have
Buzzy?
it. Yeah, I'm just picturing her just smacking him with her purse and not letting him have it. If you keep this up, I'll slice your throat. A bystander intervened and the woman was able to run away from the scene. Yay, bystanders!
Yay.
Police said at the time of Perez's arrest that he was on federal probation for a previous kidnapping charge. Oh, he birdie.
Good thing he was on probation, huh?
Yeah, those aren't crazy eyes at all. Wait, they're not even looking in the same direction at the same time. New information has been brought to light about Perez's criminal history. Perez wasn't arrested until the day after the kidnapping. After he left the Walmart parking lot on Monday, he was identified as a possible suspect, and detectives learned that Perez is a registered sex offender. Of course he is! As was our doctor friend, and was on active probation. I wonder if these are all the same guy, like registered sex offenders that are removing people's livers and having it with fava beans and a nice Chianti. This is just, Florida's weird. In 2023, Perez was arrested for violating his probation, which was his most recent interaction with law enforcement.
After all this, can I ask a question?
You just did.
I'm going to ask a second one.
Alrighty.
And I'm not asking permission this time. Why is this strange-looking ass clown out in public?
Didn't it? He shouldn't be.
I think, one slap on the wrist, one probation, okay, whatever. This is stupid.
Our system is broken. I mean, we want to. I mean, look at what they're doing in Great Britain. They're clearing out their jails of actual criminals so they can throw people who make memes
or misgender or whatever.
Or call them. It's ma'am. Okay, so where were we? The Orlando Police Department made contact with Perez's probation officer, who said the suspect had an active GPS monitoring anklet on at the time of the attempted kidnapping. What a moron. A review of his location showed that he was indeed at the Walmart at 4 p.m. and left after the alleged crime happened. Did he not know?
Derp.
The thing that we're missing with these ankle monitors is the direct link to a drone that just shoots them if they get outside of the scope of where they're supposed to be.
Now, that's a fantastical idea. Why don't they do that?
Because ASPCA or whatever will come and get us. I don't know why
Cruelty
I keep
to
saying
animals,
the
I'm telling you.
ASPCA. I don't know why I keep saying that. The affidavit added that surveillance photos of Perez at Walmart were shown to his probation officer, who was able to positively identify Perez as the attempted kidnapper. Perez was arrested after he was located in a vehicle that matched the one used during the alleged crime. This guy right here.
What a guy.
Amid the investigation, police interviewed a witness who was driving in the Walmart parking lot when she said she saw the victim's legs flailing out of the trunk of her car. This poor woman. She also said she saw a man later identified as Perez trying to push her in. Why are we not teaching women how to really kick men in the nards hard? Why don't we do that anymore? I mean, I learned that when I was 5.
There's all sorts of
hard,
self-defense
hit 'em
things
low.
you can do. I mean, you have
Yeah.
keys. You can like strafe his eyes
If
or
a guy
whatever.
pulled a knife on me, I'd be like, really? A gun, I might
Slice here, and here.
Just
Thank
make sure
you.
you go up the arm and not across the wrist, because I'd be like, really? That's not a knife, and I'd pull out my dog. This is a knife. The witness stopped immediately to ask if they were okay, and she yelled help. So she parked in the same row next to them to try and help. That's when Perez ran off. Well, thank goodness. Thank goodness for her.
Perez,
too.
your goof.
God bless that woman
Total
who
goof,
I mean.
Perez.
I'm digging all over this woman. God bless her for having the guts to do that, because I noticed that no men stopped. Well, folks, it has been 2 hours of sheer enjoyment, and we like to end on a high note. So before we head out, let's head in to news of the Wonderfuller. Here on Counterculture Wise, we may rant, we may rave, but most of all, we go against the current culture because we believe, to the core of our beings, that humans are good and the world is an amazing and beautiful place. At the beginning of our show, we give you news of the weird and wonderful, but that is just the tip of the magnificent iceberg that is our world. We now present news of the Wonderfuller. Shatner-esque delivery. Really?
The tip of the iceberg.
I'm not talking like that.
I'm playing with you.
You're a creep. It's like,
I'm a weirdo.
I love your Shatner-esque delivery. I'm like, I'm not talking like that. Yeah. What would Frankie say? Cram it, Baldy.
Cram it, Baldy. She's trying to talk.
So,
You think you can do better? You think you can do better?
You know, he likes me more than you. He's supposed to be your kitty, but he likes me
Well, he
more than
is,
you.
but yeah, he likes you too. You saw me cuddling him for about half an hour a little while ago. Yeah,
he's a good kitty.
He's a good
Well, he
kitty.
does sleep on your head.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, because I usually am up late, coding or getting stuff prepared for my students or whatever, and I'll come in and he'll be snogging away, and there's this cat draped across his bald head. He good kitty. But the minute I come in, he's all mine.
Yeah.
He's got this place right on my side that he likes to lay. And no matter where I stick him, he'll purr and cuddle. And then he's
if
like,
the dog's on the bed with us, he'll just like be next to the dog. He and the dog are best buddies.
Best buddies, yeah. They play together. They cuddle together.
Absolutely.
When we tried doing our live stream earlier and it didn't work, that's what I put up as the thumbnail, was the picture of him and Sadie sleeping together. It's like, okay, well, if it doesn't work, at least I'll have a cute picture to look at. So we're still working on that, folks. Again, if anybody out there knows how to get OBS to work with Rumble Studio is not being forthcoming and telling me how to do it. I read their FAQ. There's 2 whole sentences in it, and it says something about a recumbent feedback loop, something, which basically just tanks the...
They're making things up.
Yeah, and nobody will help me, and they won't answer me. And when I'm like, hey, that doesn't work, I just get a reply with them copying and pasting, download this. Well, I did, and it doesn't work, and it still doesn't work, and it hasn't worked yet, and it's not going to work again when you tell me to do the same thing again. So anyways, this is supposed to be news of the Wonderfuller.
Yes, let's stop whining about
let's stop whining.
And
let's
insulting each other about our delivery of our lines.
Well, yeah.
That was not very nice of me.
Creep. Remember where you have to sleep tonight?
On the couch.
Yeah. I've never kicked into the couch, not once.
Joanne,
I did actually put him in the real doghouse, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joanne?
Oh, that wasn't supposed to happen. Sorry, my bad.
Anything else before I start?
Jane, stop this crazy thing. What was on the wrong thing? Okay, so Let's queso. See, now it's dinner time again. Here we go. Ooh, pretty.
Melanie loves horses. I love
do.
veterans, so this is something I thought would bring everybody
This is one of my
together.
fantasies is to own. I always wanted. In fact, I had it all planned out in my head. Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, next to the lake. I was going to have a horse camp that during the summer, we did kids and everything, taught them horses, and then in the off seasons, you would do disabled kids because horses are so therapeutic.
They are. These are fine examples of that.
It's a beautiful horse.
Yeah, nice horse. Joanne Parchetta is one of many veterans helped by the Center for Equine Recovery, a program at Middle Tennessee State University. The idea behind the program was bringing veterans from the Veterans Recovery Center, part of Tennessee Valley VA in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Through interactions and learning about the behaviors of horses, veterans could learn about themselves through their development in class. I know that you are not defined by chronic illness or physical disability, but it can demoralize you and cause you to give up. This class with horses showed me that I can still achieve and I can still dream, Parchetta said. CERV allows veterans from Tennessee Valley VA to break through their own mental and health barriers to improve their own lives. According to CERV, CERV, I'm not going to just keep saying that, horses mirror their guide or rider and provide a physical reflection of a veteran's emotions. Horses are very good at that. Mm-hmm. With this feedback, a veteran can better see, process, and work through their behaviors.
You just have to be attuned to it. Yeah.
The program is set up to safely assist and encourage veterans to succeed in overcoming some of the fears we might have of large animals or horses, but also to build our self-confidence and learn to trust others and ourselves again, said Lee Ferris, who's been a part of CERV since 2023. My horse Penny showed me patience, said Parchetta, who has been part of CERV since
Penny,
2024.
patience, and Parchetta all in one sentence.
I know, and I didn't stumble over it either.
Didn't.
She wasn't judgmental, but expected me to do my part with confidence. The
I
staff.
say nice things about your delivery. Quack, quack, quack.
Quack, 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 quack. The staff were the experts and took their time to ensure I was confident. Confidence, patience, and courage are vital skills that are tantamount to VA's whole health service. CERV works with the recreational therapy portion of whole health. The class walks veterans through classroom and hands-on demonstrations. How to groom, care for, and get to know the horse are part of the initial few weeks of the 10-week program. Veterans learn how to walk and guide their horses while dismounted, and then how to lead their horses through various obstacles. You have to work as a team with your horse emotionally and physically for it to work, said Parchetta. When trusting in this amazing animal, it makes you trust in yourself and rediscover things in yourself you thought were lost. For Ferris, the professionalism of the instructors provided a place for him to feel comfortable to grow. I learned how to trust the staff not only because they were the experts, but they patiently took their time to ensure I was confident with the skills I was learning. I was able to be myself and not worry about being judged for my mistakes.
Now, there's a similar program that we reported on, Reading with Rover, where, kids that were shy or had speech impediments would just sit with a dog and read. And it's amazing how much animals will tune into the needs of a human being. They don't have to do that.
No.
They don't have to do that. And so that's a really good story. I like that. I'm glad that there's programs out there like that. I always wanted to get involved with the program that trains the dogs for service dogs. I just working with Sadie and working with Abby, though, I'd probably cry every time I gave it to its new owner, because you really do get attached.
Very much.
Yeah. It takes a certain soul to do what these people do, and God bless them for being those souls. Well, folks, we have come to the end of our counterculture-wise journey together. I've had a good time. I don't know about you.
This has been a very good show.
Yeah, a really good show. Very good show. Do share, like, subscribe, do all the good stuff, all the fun things, and do return next week for another episode of Counterculture-wise.
And we also have some really cool interviews coming up.
Yep, we do. We were going to have one this week, but things happened. However, when we do get to play this one, you're going to have so much fun with it. It's a kid who has climbed one of the sheerest, highest climbing structures, and who knows what's going to happen there. And we've got some authors coming up, and lots of people lined up, lots of interesting things to talk about.
Absolutely.
So watch for they're typically going to be dropping on Wednesdays. We don't have one this Wednesday, so we might do a special show, might do something different.
Yeah,
maybe we'll do the
see.
debate. I don't know. And I'm usually working Wednesday nights, so and if it drops, it drops. And then, of course, head on over to, holy crap, this is actually happening, separate channel on YouTube, also on BitChute and Rumble, and our locals channel for the animated version of the Holy Crap segment. Folks, it's been amazing. May you go forth and
Or
have,
fifth.
or fifth, or sixth, and have an amazing week. And
We
we'll
love
see
you. Thank you so much for your support.
We'll see you.
Counterculture-Wise is a Stormcat production.
Thank you for joining our growing family of listeners. All links from the show are available on our website, counterculturewise.com. Find our archives on any of your favorite podcast hosts.
We engage in satire, commentary, and generally laugh at the ridiculousness of our crumbling society. Our only medical or financial advice is to not follow any financial or medical advice given by podcasters.
Our animations, interviews, Holy Crap segment, and other videos are put out on BitChute and Rumble, and only in part on YouTube because they hate free speech.
Our show is entirely funded by listeners like you. Visit our ever-expanding merch store or our Subscribe Star, where you can get outtakes, extra videos, and sneak peeks.
If you would like to be a guest on our program, feel free to contact us via our website. Just click on the link at the top that says, "Be a guest on our show."
For more fun and cat pics, please visit our Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. For complaints about our show, please fill out the ID10T form on our website, and we will give it the attention it deserves.
Meanwhile, no matter how cruel the world may be around you, always remember the importance of kindness. Be kind to each other, be kind to animals, and be kind to yourself. See you next week.